this weekend. Will Smith's new movie, Bad Boys Ride or Die, easily won the box office, and the Bad Boys sequel grabbed first place with $56 million.
That's not bad.
That's very well done.
Not bad at all.
Easily beating its predicted opening of $40 million. Garfield the movie slipped to second place, brought in $10 million. The other family-friendly offering, If, was in third place. Horror movie The Watchers debuted in fourth place with $7 million. And finally, rounding out the top five is The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which made $5.5 million.
You see the thing Will Smith did, and apparently he does it for all of his movies when they, at least if it's this kind of movie where it's going to be a crowd pleaser, he went to some theater in L.A., and kind of snuck it in the back, and there's someone who's with him recording him reacting to the crowd react. And then as everyone files out, he's just filing out, and he's going, hey, what'd you think of the movie? Oh, my God!
Oh, that's great.
That's cool.
That's great. No, I love that. So, more on this. Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, reportedly trying to sell that big mansion that they bought around a year ago.
So the time has come to just say they're getting divorced.
As the couple gets closer to potentially pulling the plug on their marriage, selling their home is a big step because it's the home that the power couple bought after they finally got married again. J-Lo and Ben took almost 2 years to agree on the house. They spent $60 million on it.
I remember the process. They were going all over the place. And it was this ongoing search for the perfect home. They finally find it.
Yep.
And it's over!
Yeah, they're apparently looking for $65 million when they sell it, which means they'll probably end up losing a few million after fees and commissions are taken out. But man, oh man,
What do you think of this place? I was looking at the picture. Kathy, it's obviously gorgeous, but
it's like a plain style.
It's very it's plain. It's sort of austere. It looks, I don't know, sort of like
it's very symmetrical.
Symmetrical. Yeah, so a friend of mine has a vacation home, or her family has a vacation home, and it is just like that. But it's beautiful. You go inside.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that it's a square.
That's a $60 million house, man.
It better be gorgeous.
Stunning.
This place is a dump.
As we told you before, Ben already moved out of the home. J-Lo is said to be looking for a new place as well. That said, the singer was recently spotted out to dinner with a friend, and she still had her ring on. And Ben was spotted earlier in the week with his ring on as well. So I don't know.
I think Affleck should move into one of those tiny homes that they have on DIY shows.
Yeah, the little bitty one bedroom. Yeah,
Keep it simple.
Yeah, but man, oh man. The legalities of working this whole thing out, again, it's just...
Yeah, but I bet you they have it set so that it'll be
easy.
An easy. Yeah,
but,
like both of their names aren't on that house. There's something that's situated or set in place.
If they have any sort of perception of reality, they took all sorts of precautions. But who knows? Maybe swept up in the emotion, they made some mistakes.
Or maybe that's why they're selling it. It's like, okay, sell it, we'll split it, and bye-bye.
Yeah, even if they do, and you're probably right, Kathy, it's still a lot of hoops to jump through to unload a $60 million house.
Like who gets the trampoline?
Yeah, I can't believe this. I mean, if they really... they went through it once. It went bad. They reassessed. They got back together. Yes, this can work. And to me, put a lot into it. I mean, the Dunkin' commercials and all that.
This is like one of those. It's like when Subway rehired Jared. Mm-hmm. It's like they'd gone away. It was over.
Yeah,
and they started it again.
All righty. Well, we'll keep an eye on this, obviously. At the New York City premiere of Despicable Me 4 this past weekend, Will Ferrell humorously announced his intention to campaign for People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive 2024. The 56-year-old actor joked about planting the seeds for his campaign, noting that comedians are rarely featured on the iconic cover. Dressed in dark sunglasses and an Adidas track jacket, Ferrell put on his best sexy soccer-playing villain act in the hopes of furthering his bid, and he joked with the audience and encouraged them to vote for comedians for the Sexiest Man of the Year, acknowledging that his friend and fellow comic actor Paul Rudd was honored with the title in 2021.
Who is the current sexiest man?
I've forgotten who the last one was. I lose track of them. There's so many sexy men.
All right, hang on, because the Kelsey was on there somewhere.
Was it Travis Kelsey?
No. There it is.
It was Patrick Dempsey. That's right.
Patrick Dempsey.
The premiere also served as a mini reunion for Ferrell with his former Anchorman co-stars Kristen Wiig and Steve Carell, who are also part of the Despicable Me cast. Reflecting on the legacy of Anchorman, Farrell said he's proud that film is still influential and beloved. He reminisced about the unexpected success of the quirky film and its enduring place in popular culture.
Virtually every other week, I watch the outtakes from Anchorman or Anchorman 2. It just gets me going.
It's good stuff. Nick Cannon is pretty famous these days. Everything from his podcast hosting The Masked Singer to having a ton of kids. He's got 12 with 6 different moms so far.
Jesus.
And he might have plans to up that number as well. It turns out he has insured his testicles for $10 million.
5 each?
I don't know how it's broken down. Maybe
One gets
maybe
$8
one
million.
is 7 and the others, I don't really know. So,
I like my left one better.
Nick used an online survey from Dr. Squatch to find out how much he was worth down there, confirming everything from his favorite features to how he likes to get down in the bedroom.
Dr. Squatch.
And he said, haters say it's time for me to stop having kids, but I'm doubling down on these valuable balls and my future kids. Shout out to Dr. Squatch for hooking me up with the protection I need to keep this family tree rolling. Okay.
Dr. Squatch, you said it all.
Yeah. I know
When you've said Squatch, you've said it all.
I guess that's it.
I guess this is an ad campaign. Dr. Squatch is some kind of
it's a grooming kit. That's what it
manly
is.
soap and personal care products. So it's kind of tongue in cheek, but maybe Preston, there's actually some legitimacy to it. I can't quite tell.
So he's holding up a trophy, Steve, that's shaped like a heart, and dangling from the center part of the heart is like a miniature pair of truck nuts.
Huh.
And he's using a little electric razor to show as if he's shaving them.
So there's a commercial tie-in.
I guess so. So that's what that
I was
is.
kind of hoping there was actually a Dr. Squatch.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Squatch is short for Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So
and hairy nuts.
Yeah, you know how it is. Valerie Bertinelli and boyfriend Michael Goodenough. Is that how you say his name? Goodnough, Goodenough. Have taken the relationship to the next level and made it red carpet official. The two appeared together at the 2024 Daytime Emmys, where Bertinelli was up for Outstanding Culinary Host for her former Food Network series, Valerie's Home Cooking. And apparently he told People magazine, there's very little better than seeing somebody you love get the recognition, get the roses. So he added he's apparently comfortable with the L word, meaning love, I assume. Unfortunately, both Bertinelli and her show came up short, but it seems that she's still a winner. As
You're a
is her
loser
boyfriend.
is the L word now. Loser.
Actors Billy Crudup and Naomi Watts have said I do 2 times now. On Saturday, the couple celebrated a wedding ceremony in Mexico City 1 year after they got married in a courthouse ceremony in New York City.
If I was Crudup, I would do the second marriage in my Dr. Manhattan outfit.
Yes. I think that would be, everybody would be a good Instagram moment. Naomi's brother, Ben Watts, served as the official photographer and posted several pics and videos on Instagram. Glee star Darren Criss and wife Mia Swear have welcomed their second child.
Miss Swear, you have a baby.
Chris announced on Instagram, M&D just delivered their follow-up single and posted that along with a picture of the newborn dressed in a Star Wars-themed blanket and sunglasses. Brother Laszlo Chris, they wrote in the caption with stars, emojis from his name.
The baby looks
now.
like it's smiling in this picture.
They concluded the post by confirming, quote, and yes, his first name is Brother. The baby was born June 3rd. The couple also share a 2-year-old daughter named Bluesy.
Bluesy.
Which is kind of a cute name, Bluesy. I thought this was kind of fun. Sir Ian McKellen has addressed whether he would reprise his role in the upcoming film, The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, which is going to premiere in 2026. In a recent interview with the Times of London, McKellen mentions he's heard rumors that he might be asked to join the project, but notes that there is currently no script, offer, or plan, and he joked that he would consider returning as Gandalf, quote, if I'm alive. So he may be up for it.
If I'm alive, I'll be in it. Otherwise, I'm going on tour with Dogstar.
Dude, they're coming to town soon.
Are they really?
Yeah, Dogstar is coming to maybe Wilmington, maybe the Queen or something
If they come into town, you know.
Keanu.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Keanu.
we're going to get them in here, no doubt.
Can we get them on the show?
Director of the original trilogies, Peter Jackson, says the new film will focus on the character of Gollum.
I'm going to kill him.
He
explained. Bullet right in his head.
Explains that due to Gollum embodying both the worst of human nature and having a sympathetic side, the character resonates with audiences because these traits exist within everyone.
Does he get a girlfriend?
I don't know.
Galima?
Jackson says he intends
Put a ring on it.
To tell Gollum's backstory and reveal aspects of his journey not covered in previous films, but still guided by J.R.R. Tolkien's original works. So,
do you think McKellen's going to do that? Because he apparently is interested in Revenge of the Nerds 5.
Oh, really?
I'd like to play Booger.
Nerds in the Shire?
Nerds on there.
Nerds in Mordor.
If you want to burn that booger off your finger, stick it into the fire.
I wonder if, since they're doing his backstory, I don't know if there would be any room for Gandalf.
No, it doesn't. Well, Gandalf is obviously has lived a long time. I am interested and frightened by this because don't go to that well so much. You know.
I don't know. I agree. I'm kind of with you. But Baby Gollum, like Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
he's adorable.
Yeah, I don't know. I got my fill of it. The three movies were masterpieces, and that was enough for me. And I've since moved on. But some people want to get as much of that as they possibly can.
Did you watch The Hobbit? The movies.
No, I was done.
Yeah, I got enough. They're good.
Yeah,
but again, I'm enough. Agree.
Reese Witherspoon, it's a household name, but it turns out that's not her real name. She was given the name Laura Jeannie Reese Witherspoon, but shortened it before her Hollywood career took off. And during a recent Vanity Fair interview with her co-star and pal Nicole Kidman, the topic of her name came up. The actresses were talking about shooting their series Big Little Lies with Laura Dern, but Reese calls her by her last name, and Nicole doesn't really like it. She said, I hate how you call her Dern. She said, it sounds weird. I'm always like Laura, and you're like, no, Dern. And Reese then asks, do you know why? And reveals it's because she said, my name is Laura, and her name is Laura, and it's confusing to me. Yeah, but who the hell calls Reese Laura?
They call her Reese.
Yeah.
Come on.
She added to avoid the confusion, she calls the actress Dern, adding
Dirty Dern,
because we can't both be Laura as well. Sure.
Okay, actresses.
I don't mind with our buddies, my group of friends. We call each other by our last names.
Do you?
It's not the complete replacement for the name, but it is one of the names that we will call each other. Like my buddy Steve and I have a ton of different nicknames for each other. And sometimes he'll just call me, by my last name, or I'll call him by his last name. And it's just,
Yeah.
Same with you, Case?
Another term. Do you have any friends that you call by last name?
I mean...
Or refer to someone by their last name?
Like your best friend, Chuck?
Yeah. No, I call it Chuck. My friend
Chuck.
Steve, his last name, we shorten it. We call him Cal. But I mean, everybody does kind of have a nickname, though.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of nicknames.
I have a friend that we still call by her last name.
Just exclusively, yep.
Exclusively her last name. Like, even when we're all together, we don't really call her Melissa. And it's terrible because her last name's Gordo. And so that's just...
Gordo's kind of cool.
Gordo's a great nickname.
I love Gordo.
It's very the right stuff.
And it's not even her... That's her maiden name. Like, that's not even her last name anymore.
Oh. Do you also shorten it to like Gord or Gore?
No, Gordo.
Gordo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or G-Ord.
Yep. Doctor Who made history this weekend, showing its first ever explicitly romantic same-sex kiss on screen. The episode in question was set in the British Regency period of 1813, so think Bridgerton vibes, and saw the Doctor played by Nkuti Gatwa lock lips with a bounty hunter played by Jonathan Groff. Unfortunately, Groff's character kissed the Doctor right before he sacrificed himself, following the two flirting all episode.
I hate that when you kiss someone and they sacrifice themselves.
Also, technically, the Doctor has previously kissed same-sex characters, but this is the first time the kiss was actually romantically charged. So Jonathan Groff, which Nick just pulled up a photo, he's a super famous actor. He plays the king in Hamilton, and also the voice of is he Kristoff?
Kristoff in
Frozen,
Tangled or Frozen.
Tangled.
Sorry,
Frozen. Yes,
Frangled.
No, Zachary Levi's the lead in Tangled.
Right.
Mindhunter as well.
Mindhunter, yeah.
And then also, man, I just saw a trailer. He's got a new show coming out on Broadway that I was like, when I just watched the trailer, because it's just all the actors like singing in a sound booth or whatever.
Hamilton 2?
It is not Hamilton 2.
Is it similar?
No. It's more comedic based. But I had no idea how talented he was. And when they released Hamilton on what was that, Apple TV? I guess.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy crap! I didn't know that was him.
I know. Same here. I'm like, really?
I had been listening to that soundtrack for a couple of years before I realized that it was him.
Yeah.
Gatwa, by the way, is the newest actor to take on the role of the Doctor in Doctor Who, and the first actor in the role who identifies as queer. He's also the first black actor to take on the role for a full season since it was first broadcast in 1963. I'd mentioned this earlier. The Daytime Emmy Awards were held in Los Angeles, and Dick Van Dyke, at 98 years old, made history to become the oldest recipient of a Daytime Emmy. He won the award for Best Guest Performance on a Daytime Drama for his role in Days of Our Lives.
That's pretty awesome.
It is a historic win for the legendary actor's long, illustrious career in television and film.
And as I was accepting the award, Preston, he did the Iron Cross.
Oh, he did? I would
which
doubt
is
it.
amazing.
The dude is in phenomenal shape for his age. General Hospital emerged as a major winner, securing Best Drama with Robert Gossett winning Best Supporting Actor in Drama. Show also received accolades for its writing and directing. Other soap stars taking home awards included the Young Loisa's co-stars Michelle Stafford and Courtney Hope for Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress in a Drama, while Thorsten Kaye, yeah, from The Bold and the Beautiful, took home the award for Best Actor in a Drama. Thorsten Kaye. In other...
Thorsten, take you to Drina.
Drina
and Thorsten. Are any of you actively or check in occasionally on soap operas? I know Peacock has some of the NBC soap operas, but are there ones that are still airing, right?
There's one on
General Hospital is.
I think it was Netflix.
With Thorsten.
I forget the name of it, but I mean, I thought I was getting into like a show, and I was watching a couple episodes. I'm like, this is good. This is really good. And then like all of a sudden somebody died. Well, no, somebody died, and then like he walked through the door and they were like, it's his evil twin brother. And I was like, oh my God, I'm watching a soap opera.
Why do they call it soap opera?
Because of the advertisers.
That's what it was?
Used to be soap advertisers.
Yeah. Now the categories, the Kelly Clarkson Show was honored as Best Daytime Talk Show. And Be My Guest with Ina Garten won Best Culinary Show. Entertainment Tonight was recognized as Best Entertainment News Show. As co-hosts, Kevin Frazier and Nichelle Turner were also emceeing the event, and they won Best Daily Daytime Personality. Mark Consuelos and Kelly Ripa received the award for Best Talk Show Hosts.
Yeah.
Adam Sharp, President and CEO of the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, praised the night celebrations, which capped off with the Lifetime Achievement Awards being presented to Melody Thomas Scott and her husband Edward J. Scott for their combined 93 years of contributions to daytime television.
What the hell did they do?
I don't know.
By the way, that Jonathan Groff show, that Broadway show, it's not new. It's actually going to be closing in less than a month. It's called Merrily We Roll Along. But, dude, Daniel Radcliffe's in it. And that was the other thing. I was like, I didn't know he could sing.
Yeah. All right, and then one last story. This is great. Disney is hinting that they're in talks with the creator of the hit animated series Gravity Falls for a possible revival. Disney honcho Meredith Roberts said in a new interview that they are looking into bringing back the animated series and have approached Alex Hirsch to make it happen. And this was, Roberts said, you never know, we're in conversations with Alex. He's about to publish a book with Disney on the project, and we also do some shorts, so never say never. So I watched this with my kids.
Gravity Falls?
Great show.
Yeah. What is the plot?
It's a summer camp location where weird things happen. It's just one of those locations where odd things, Twilight Zone-y type things happen regularly, but there's a bigger undercurrent story. That's why the writing was so smart. There's a larger, the show has an end to it.
Oh, does it?
So it went for 2 seasons, and it had a culmination and it wasn't just this animated show that just kind of went on and on. and it was really smart and funny. And a lot of good guest guest name voices like Larry King. You're like, Larry King's on this show? would pop up, and it was just I got caught up in it. So I'm happy to hear that they might go another run for it. Gravity Falls was created by Hirsch and premiered on the Disney Channel in 2012 with a 20-episode order. It was brought back for a second season and final season of 20 episodes before wrapping up. The show's series finale broke records for Disney XD, drawing 2.9 million viewers, the highest number in the network's history. All right, we are ready for clips. Vicky Krieps is a Luxembourgish German actress who has starred in films all over the world, but the Civil War-based film The Dead Don't Hurt was the most challenging, and here's why.
Well, what made me really happy is that it was the first time I've played a character that had an accent. And the accent was actually part of the character and was meant to be there and was even reinforced and was a very important element. It's probably what I worked on most in the whole film.
I don't give a
The Dead Don't Hurt is in theaters now.
She's supposed to be very good in this movie.
Yeah, it's the Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo
one?
Mortensen.
Yeah.
We talked to him about it.
Yep. Here's our next clip. In this time next year, a man and woman realize they were born in the same hospital on the same day, 1 minute apart, but their lives have gone in very different directions. In this clip, star Lucien Laviscount, I guess, talks about why he loves this genre.
I love a rom-com. I just want to be able to scream at my TV and just say, just open your eyes. I think that's it. I think that's the one way of like a really good rom-com. It's just like open your eyes. The depth that makes you want them to win.
Could you shut up?
This time next year is streaming now if you would like to see it. And there you go. All right, that's the entertainment report for today, friends. All right, beautiful day before us, and we'll take a quick break, come back in a second, dive into the nitty-gritty of conversation and whatnot that we do here on this very radio program. So hang out for a few. We'll have a good time this morning.
Preston and Steve on 93.3.
You said this. I say of offensive things all the time. I do not have the right to get offended. You know, it's just it's my deal.
Right.
If I dish it out, I have to be able to take it.
Right.
But if Kathy ever wanted to, like, get us fired.
Oh, my God.
Jesus. Oh, yeah, there's so much ammo. It's not even.
I mean,
Then all you have to do
remotely
is
funny.
show the text from her on the phone.
Yeah.
You'll be reinstated.
I will also
my mind.
I will also think of the time that you put a Sharpie in my butt crack, and you don't remember that, but I do. I'm
No.
like, yes.
Did I draw on your butt?
No. I was like bent over, and my crack was showing, and you were like, bloop.
Wow. Okay.
Do we have it over the audio?
No, I don't. Are you editing it?
It might
Marissa?
have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's you don't need to. We don't need to hear all of it. It's just I want to get the tone of this guy that is doing the narration for it. That is actually the instruction. It's like he's being as serious as you can possibly be about it.
I love that.
And talking about this stuff that's just like
And
It's like these things, and we never play these fully, but
Dad, can I talk to you for a minute?
yeah.
there's a much longer piece of that. But I love. And
What is the exact product?
I don't
It's like
even
a pleasure
know.
device. It's something you buy for, and
It's got to be extremely expensive
Yeah,
because it's super
I
complicated.
was curious as to what the cost was, but it's for the front and the back and the underneath.
simultaneously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And
is
the
it
thing
like
that goes in the
a
back-
Sibian?
The thing that goes in the back, no, it's like nothing you've ever seen before.
Is it a revolution in home entertainment?
like I can't even explain it.
Okay, so remember when we were talking about packing a flounder before?
Yes,
Okay. So there's essentially this thing that packs a flounder for you, but it's there to stimulate things.
Oh.
So it,
Okay.
But it's just wild that, like, Press, you talk about the narration, but like somebody also had to animate this.
yes,
like,
there's a professional animator with it too. Here, I'll play some of it.
Before using the Shinfly full coverage men's massager, all body parts in contact with the massager and the massager itself shall be fully cleaned.
music.
After assembling the massager, lock the rear massage bar in the initial position, adjust the front massage bar to the maximum angle away from the body, and tie the belt at the waist.
There's a belt.
Smear
Okay.
the orange lubricant on the anus and surround.
Whoa, you got to watch that one.
She missed that.
She missed that one.
Okay.
I would say
The anus sensor. Yeah. So.
So
It is funny what we can and can't say because, like, it's all technical terms.
it is.
You
But
know,
we've got there are some. We get away with murder in so much.
And I
that
guess
skin.
Yeah.
the surrounding skin of the perineum, thigh, inside, and all surfaces of massage head in contact with the skin uniformly.
Okay, that's all we're going to play.
So initially when I saw the picture of it, I thought it was one of those office chairs that you sit in that doesn't have a back to it, but it's actually a device that you wear. You can wear standing up. There's a pin on it like a grenade.
I would need the instructions for this device. What the hell?
You have seen nothing like this. I want to get one of these in the studio. Do they have a price?
No, but I'll bet you it's a few $1,000s. Look at this.
So
wait, I'm sorry.
See, that wraps around.
Is that supposed to go over your Johnson?
There you go. And then it goes up and down.
There you go.
Watching the animation. But what I can't figure out is the seat part of it.
The seat looks like a ski boot.
It does. It looks like a ski boot.
So you sit on a ski boot.
Hey,
while it.
Without looking behind you, Steve, who do you think is in the studio now?
Bill?
Yes. He just came into the studio. He's shaking his head. He's
he
not
has
happy.
one of these.
It was his birthday on Sunday.
He came in to clarify.
He's looking to let us know the price.
What do those things cost, Bill?
You should get one that instead of a motorcycle seat.
Bill, honestly, have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
You know, I'm in my office last night, long after you've gone.
Right.
I listened to the Kathy Menstrual Cup segment because I missed it live.
Right.
What'd you think? It's pretty straight ahead, right?
No,
There was look. It's like, well, I actually looked up. It's been so long since we've talked about FCC and the liability of obscenity and all of that stuff. It hasn't been a conversation. I looked up the definition again, and I think you guys are dancing on that line because it has something to do with sexual or excretory activities and organs, which is what.
There's nothing sexual about it. I mean, it
deals with
biological, if anything.
It deals with a sexual organ.
Right. Yeah, like a Wurlitzer.
By my by Kathy's very apt description of what that does. Anyway, and you're doing this today. I'm like, I dumped the lubricant on the thing.
Yes, which we would only.
I got you.
Our agreement with you is always we'll swing for the fences and you excise what you think is appropriate.
People are wondering what the name of it was. Again, I'll play the beginning. Just it says the name of this.
Before using the Shinfly Full Coverage Men's Massager,
Shinfly Full Coverage Men's Massager.
So I need to imagine, because so much of this is written and appears to be in Mandarin, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an Asian product, I believe. But it's got subtitles, which brings us full circle to the conversation we started.
Says great for dads and grads.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. So today's discussion just kind of brought me back to those good old days where we're really working the dump buttons. But
good.
Yeah. So
By the
maybe
way, Bill,
a Preston
Preston
and Steve logo in the merch shop, in the rock shop. We could make some money on this.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clap on there.
Again,
and you could be the narrator. Bill's a great narrator, by the way.
Yeah.
He does wonderful narration.
I get all.
Wait, hang on. Let me
all
sell.
body parts in contact with the massager and the massager itself shall be fully cleaned.
I think you're better than this guy.
Yeah.
You'd be
I
perfect.
don't know what you want from me. Santa's got to go.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Santa's got to go. All right, so you need to see this thing. You need to do a search on the. Hold on, what was the name of it?
I mean, it'd be easier to go out and get a girlfriend.
Yes,
By far.
Just putting this thing on, just all the straps and hooks and various things you need to put together to put this thing on your body is more work than going out and trying to get an actual relationship.
And what do you think? It's like, you're at the office. Can I come in? No!
Before using the Shinfly Full Coverage Men's Massager,
Shinfly Full Coverage Men's Massager. Marissa?
We're sharing it on all of our social media
Okay.
accounts.
All right.
So
You
can
got to
find the
see
link
this
there.
thing. There's nothing full-on graphic
No.
about
Everything
the
is,
animation, but I mean,
is
it's
suggested.
It's certainly suggested, but I've never seen anything like this product before.
I mean, there has to come a point about 3 minutes into using it where you just feel like the lowest scum on earth.
Or you finally found the
euphoric.
greatest thing
Yeah.
that's been created by man.
Honey, I want a divorce.
Wow. Okay. All right. Eddie Vedder is heading out on the road tomorrow night in support of his new solo set, Earthling. Vedder kicks off a 9-date run at New York City's Beacon Theater, although he played a surprise show last night, right, Nick?
He did, yeah. He was in a place just outside of New York City, and the Earthlings were with him, and that's Chad Smith and Josh Klinghoffer and a few other guys. And so there's a whole bunch of songs that I've never heard of that he did last night. And then, tomorrow night at the Beacon Theater, and then Friday night at the Beacon Theater. And I will be attending Friday night show.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
While chatting with the New York Times, the Pearl Jam frontman recalled discussing his and the band's career with U2's Bono, who had very specific opinions and advice for Vedder.
What do you think about baloney?
He does.
I like it.
He recalled saying, I've had a conversation with Bono back in the day. He was suggesting that we needed to work harder and that you didn't want rock and roll to become a niche. And he said that when U2 makes a record, it's like they've got a racehorse and they don't want the horse to in the race. They want to win the race. And I said, we race the horse and then we let the horse run free. He said, I wasn't trying to be
honest, I don't know what you're talking about.
He said, I wasn't trying to be clever. That was the truth. And he was frustrated with me.
Do me a favor and put this device on. I think you're going to what is it? This part here goes over your manhood. This thing that looks like a ski boot rests just behind your nutsack. Now do a deep knee bend. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I see what you mean. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
His voice gets even shakier.
There you go.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Isn't that something? It's crazy.
You had to have heard our earlier discussion in order to understand exactly what we're referring to. But the video is now on our social media if you want to see.
And call this part the everlasting bum stopper.
Oh, my God. Hang on. I can't see the copy here.
And the video's back up again.
It's just such a clunky looking thing.
It is. There's no way to describe it.
Okay. So, you may not want to eat for this next segment that we're going to talk about.
Oh, man. Okay.
Kathy told us last night on a little phone call, and she prefaced this by saying, I want to share something with you guys. And she says, because we're family and we can talk about these things.
By the way, Casey was not on the call at this point, so this is going to be a surprise for Casey.
I go, what did I just walk into? And you guys said, you just wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
Yeah. So you want to try something out, I believe?
Do. Yeah, okay. I want to try something out. And when I say we're family, I mean us in the room and everyone that listens to the show.
Exactly.
Yes. Right?
Yes.
So I'm going to try a menstrual cup.
Oh,
a menstrual cup.
Wow.
Yeah, a cup. I'm so surprised.
A cup. Me too. Elevator Rocks. Monday morning, Preston and Steve Show, 7:15. I believe for Preston and Steve, blood drive on Friday. Just helpful reminder of that we need your help for that. So all the details at PrestonandSteve.com. Come and join us. Get that T-shirt and sunglasses and, save a life, too. How about that? Maybe a few lives. We're going to take a look at traffic. Let's see what's up this morning. Kathy, what you got for us?
495 northbound remains closed between Highway 3 Edgemore Road and Route 13. That's an accident. Schuylkill eastbound slowing from 202 into Conshohocken and the Boulevard to the Vine westbound side from Bear Avenue to South Street and then City to Belmont. 95 southbound Jams Academy to Bridge, the Vine. Volume building westbound 8th to Broad, the Ben Franklin Parkway to the Schuylkill. 422 eastbound slowing from Trooper to First Avenue. And then in New Jersey, we have volume building on the 42 freeway northbound from Coles Road to 55. This traffic report brought to you by Piedmont Airlines. No stranger to aircraft maintenance. Piedmont Airlines wants you to join their team. Experienced aircraft maintenance technicians can earn competitive sign-on bonuses and pay. To gauge up your career, visit Piedmont-Airlines.com. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Steve, you wanted to mention something?
Yes, thanks. Thank you, Preston. This Saturday, June, it would be the 15th, yes? Mm-hmm. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Vinyl Revival. It's a record store. It's an awesome place. 19 North Lansdowne Avenue in Lansdowne, PA. we're having a cannoli meeting day. You remember this dog? I've mentioned this dog, Cannoli, on air a couple of times. This dog needs to be adopted. It was rescued from the puppy mills out in Lancaster. It's a wonderful dog. And so this event is so you can come meet Cannoli. There's all sorts of things that'll be going on. I'll be there. I'm taking care of the adoption fee for Cannoli. Long story short, the organization and Grace at Finding Shelter, they have Cannoli right now, but Cannoli needs to be in a home where she is the only dog. It's just the way she is. It's like Pierre had Lucy, and Lucy didn't get along with other animals. And so Cannoli's sort of falling through the cracks on this. And she needs to have a home, and she's a sweetheart. So come meet her. I'll be there. There'll be a whole bunch of stuff going on. Vinyl Revival is amazing. The one thing we ask, though, is that you don't bring your pets down because, obviously, Cannoli doesn't get along with other animals.
Right.
But if you're looking for that one pet that has a lot of energy, that is a sweetheart, and you can come see for yourself, I'll be there from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. I'll be petting Cannoli. You can pet Cannoli. You can look at the records. We can all have a good time. I'll take care of the adoption fees. I'm going to get you a dog bed, some toys, and set Cannoli up. Because once Cannoli is out of this situation, then Grace and her organization can make some more room for other animals. It's not the dog's fault that the dog was, raised this way or abused, but she is a sweetheart with humans. She's full of life and
What kind of a dog
fun.
is she?
She is a Boston Terrier.
Oh,
yeah, and she's
cute,
cutie. And I have tons of video and footage of her being great with humans and running around and having a terrific time. So come on down, meet Cannoli and adopter, goddammit, and it'll be great. So I'll remind you during the week. But thank you, Preston.
All right, Saturday, right?
Saturday.
Excellent. All right, well, we're going to dive into Totally Presbo.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Totally Presbo.
Hi, Presbo.
Oh, hi. Hi, Getty. I saw a couple things I thought were kind of interesting worth passing along. Wallet Hub recently conducted a survey and ranked 180 U.S. cities for their level of sin.
Sinner.
Where do you think Philadelphia ranked on the level of sin?
I'm going to put it, I don't think it's a necessarily sinful town. I'm going to put it mid-level.
Mid-level, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right, out of 180. So
90.
Somewhere in 90.
I mean, Vegas is Sin City, right?
Yeah.
So, that's got to be up there. And then New Orleans is probably up there as well.
Yeah.
Philly's middle of the road.
Philadelphia ranked third.
Yeah. All right, way to go.
All right, what are the parameters
The
around
most
this?
simple. So they
Must have cheesesteaks.
They used 37 key indicators to rank the city's sin level, such as violent crimes per capita to the number of adult entertainment establishments within the city's borders.
Well, that's true.
And then it was scored on based on 7 categories: anger and hatred, jealousy, excess and vices, greed, lust, vanity, and laziness.
Okay, so I didn't realize anger was a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have skewed my
Yeah,
assessment.
so immediately you think sex, drugs, booze,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
No.
But when anger goes in there, then you're throwing the whole thing off.
These are other sins as well. So anger and hatred is part of it.
Gluttony.
The higher the number, the more sinful the city. Philadelphia had an index score of 56.83 with its most major sin being, what do you think the most major sin is amongst those? Anger and hatred, jealousy. And these aren't necessarily, I guess, the 7 deadly sins because I don't see gluttony on here. Or sloth. Well, laziness is on here.
Yeah.
Anger and hatred, jealousy, excesses and vices, greed, lust, vanity, or laziness. Which one do you think we came out number 1?
Let's go with anger.
Anger, hatred, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to guess?
Jealousy's up there because the perceived notion that we're always jealous of New York and or D.C., although I don't think that's actually accurate.
Okay.
Kathy?
Go jealousy.
All right. And I was surprised at this. Vanity.
Vanity?
Vanity.
What are we so proud about?
Apparently, the Wallet Hub study found that Philly had more online searches for plastic surgery than any other city study.
New York?
Would that be contrary? Well,
L.A.?
Yes.
I know. But maybe in L.A. you don't need to do searches because it's so common.
They're like, I'm going to Dr. So-and-so.
Yeah.
Are you necessary? Well, I guess vanity would prompt perhaps a need for or looking for cosmetic surgery, but it also speaks to being less than vain because or that you're not. I don't know. There's a whole maelstrom of things going on there.
God, I'm so surrounded by the like the Botox and fillers and plastic surgery.
Right
like
in the studio.
Well, no, I mean, look at you guys. You're like plastic figures.
Oh, you're talking.
No, I think it's just my age. I mean, I'm much younger than my friends, but
they're all falling apart. Though.
I think it's the age, and it's just like that's the time when everyone starts to do it. Just a friend of mine just had.
What's your name, Kathy?
No, eyelid surgery, and
it doesn't look good, does it?
And she was very open about it. I mean, she posted, the doctor she went to and the progress and all that kind of stuff. No, it looks great.
She looks like Rocky when he yells, "Cut me, man."
No, but like I wouldn't even think that. I was like, eyelid surgery? What the hell is that? And she was like, look, it's drooping. And now of course I'm looking at mine. I'm like, oh my God, it does droop down.
Eyelid surgery, neck surgery, all of this crap.
The neck surgery.
Who's had the most work done of your friends? Give us an exact name.
An exact name. I don't know. Well, I have one that's like leaning towards she only had one plastic surgery, but like a lot of other stuff. And, and so I'm just waiting for like the next, what's next.
So Philly trailed only Las Vegas and Houston on the most sinful list. Yeah. As those cities scored a total vice index of 63 and 57.21 respectively.
How LA doesn't end up.
Rounding out the top 5 were Los Angeles and Atlanta. So we came above Los Angeles.
I would never pick us as scoring that high on vanity.
Yeah. So number 1 in vanity, but number 3 in sin, and number 1 in your heart.
Yeah, man, you better believe it.
Yep, I found that quite.
Well, at least we're in a top 10 of something.
Yeah, right. It's always nice to come up there, on a list. All right, let's see what else we got.
Totally Presbo.
Hi, Presbo.
The baby names that are on the brink of extinction in the U.S. have been released, with their simplicity and practicality dropping them to the bottom of the list. So I have this list of names that have completely gone out of favor. If only 20 to 50 babies are given a name each year, it is considered to be going extinct.
20 to 50 nationally?
Yeah, the top endangered names were compiled using annual data from babies registered with the Social Security Administration.
Presbo's not on the list, is it?
Presbo's not on the list. Popular baby names go in and out of style like anything else, but it tends to follow the 100-year rule, taking a century before parents regain interest in the
That's an old baby, though.
No, it's not the baby, just the name.
Oh.
Although some names have withstood the test of time, like Anne and Laura.
Standards.
New parents aren't.
Laura is standard?
I guess so.
Yeah, Laura.
New parents aren't inclined to name their children after their parents' or grandparents' generation.
So that it used to be sort of expected that there'd be some sort of
I think,
honoring of your elders with somebody in the family being named, right?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. But I think now there's like 2 types of people. Like you have those people that want to traditionally do that and carry that name, and then there are people who just want the unique name, whatever's new out there.
Yeah, we did family names a lot, and all of my nieces and nephews. Middle name was meant to
be the
carry on.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. One thing that makes a name go out of fashion is that it's been in fashion too long, according to Pamela Redmond, whose books on the baby names led the creation of her site, Nameberry. By the way, names from great-grandparents have been out of fashion long enough that they redeem in popularity, according to Nameberry.
Okay, all right.
That's, by the way, Nameberry is a site devoted to baby names. And
they also have dingleberries, their other site.
Aside from the, what's that one about?
It's about assberries.
A little bit of
the little hair.
Aside from the 100-year rule, parents are also shifting the names they choose because they are much more aware than previous generations of the branding power of a name and the power of a name as a marker of identity. So I will give you the top names that are now
becoming extinct.
On the edge of extinction.
I bet you I know number 1.
What?
Harvey Weinstein.
No, it's not Harvey Weinstein.
Okay.
It's actually for a man, Al, and for a woman, Bess.
All right, so Al,
and
just as Al,
it doesn't indicate Al or
Albert
or Alfred.
Right.
Yeah. So
what's Bess?
It's short for Al.
Is that short for anything or no?
Like Bessica.
Yeah.
I don't know. So all right, number 2. Bernie.
Right.
All right. For a male. And for a female, Kathy.
Oh! I'm so sorry, Kathy.
With a C.
I meet more
If you're
Kathy
nasty.
spelled with C than K. So that's usually Catherine. That's usually Catherine, and then they spell it with a C, and then I'm Kathleen, which is a K. Yes, I think Kathy. We recently mentioned this. I don't know anybody that is naming their child or in any recent years,
Kathy?
Catherine or Kathleen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't. All the Kathys that I know are with a K. The only Kathy I know that isn't the one to see is the comic strip Kathy.
Team Kathy to the bitter end.
All right, number 3 on this list is Bert for a male.
Yeah.
Which is
And-
short for Burtons.
No, I don't know. And then
Albert. Well, that's weird because you have Albert, or you have Al,
Al
and then
and
Bert.
Bert, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
It is weird.
Christy.
Oh, really?
Spelled with a C for a female. Yeah,
Okay.
Christi.
How about, I wonder where Christine falls in extinction list.
Look at all the names that are derived from, or that Bert is derived from. You got Robert, Albert, Elbert, Herbert, Hilbert, Hubert, Gilbert, Wilbert, Filbert, Norbert, Osbert, Roberto, Roberta. I mean, there's lots of them. Yeah.
Bert.
Berthold, Bertrand, Umberto, Humbert,
Berthole.
Berthole. You Berthole. Dilbert, Cuthbert.
Cuthbert!
It's your dad's name.
That's my dad's name. No. That's Bill never could figure out that my dad's name was Cullen, not Cuthbert. Albertina.
Albertina is a piano.
Oh, no. So interesting.
Casey, do you know what Bert Kreischer is short for? Is it short for anything?
I think it's short for Albert.
Okay.
So number 4 on this list, names being that are being phased out or on the extinction list, Bob.
Bob
is on there. Now, it's as Bob. I don't know about Robert.
Bob.
But
Bob's office would be in my office.
My son.
That's from Big.
Yes,
by the
thank
way.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
My son thinks Bob is the most bizarre name he's ever heard. He cracks up. My cousin's name is Bob, and he's always like, "Is Bob coming?" And he like chuckles to himself. And I'm like, "Why do you think it's so bizarre?" And he can't explain it. He goes, "Who would ever?" He says it. Who would ever name a kid Bob?
You guys know Bill Bean from our MMR?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so you know Bill and I went to high school together, and he was a year older than me. And the first time I ever met him, I was in the play, and he had this guy that he would hang out with all the time, and they called me Bob. All the time. They'd be like, Bob. I'd walk past, and you got to remember, I was like 15 years old, this tiny little short, fat kid, and I'd be walking past these 2 guys. They were basically like the 2 old guys in the Muppets.
Right, yeah.
I'd walk past them, and they'd be like, Bob.
Huh.
And that was it. Like, that's...
So they thought Bob was an insult.
For 3... I don't know. They were just being... He's weird, like, in a fun way. I love Bill, but, like, dude, that's all they said to me for 3 years.
You've known him for a long time now.
Yes.
Decades, actually,
Yeah.
because he's been here for. Have you ever asked him about it?
Yeah, he doesn't know.
He doesn't know?
No, he was a
Okay.
high school kid.
All right, yeah.
You
there
know,
go.
like I look at him as an adult now, but like he was 15 years old at that time, and there's no rhyme or reason.
I wonder if anybody ever names their child Bob and not Robert.
I would always assume it'd be Robert shortened to Bob.
But maybe there's some people that just
Or
go with
Bobbert.
Bob. All right, Bobbert. We had a guy that we called Bobbert. So the female list, or female name that's number 4 on this list is Deirdre.
Deirdre.
Yeah.
The one Deirdre I know is Deirdre Hall.
I went to school with a Deirdre. And every name that you're going through this, I'm like, yeah, I have a friend who's got that name.
All right.
You know, like, so yeah, these are all.
But they're on the way out, man.
They're on the way out.
All right, Carrie is number 5 for a man, followed by Gail, female, and then number 6, Chuck.
Chuck. Gail can also be a male name.
No,
Yes, it can.
No, I would see. I would
And
think.
Carrie can also be a female name.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I would think so. Chuck, I could see going out, but like Charles,
Yeah. Right.
I think that's kind of like a timeless name.
You know, everybody else calls him like Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
Yeah, like
Chuck is called Charlie?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Charlie.
Charlie.
That's what Leanne calls
Cha.
him because they have a daughter named Charlie.
Charlie, yeah, but-
So Chuck is Charlie. Literally Charlie.
Yeah, we're like the only people that call him Chuck, right? What do you call him, Casey?
I call
Since
him
he's
Chuck.
your best friend.
Since he's my best friend
Yeah,
ever, I call him Chuck.
you call him because you know him from work, so it's
Yeah.
You even did a video about that.
He did a loving tribute
about your best friend.
to his best friend.
Oh, that's nice.
So
my co-work best friend.
Right, your coworker.
I'm going to rattle off some of these guy names real quickly. I'll go through the rest of the top 10. So you have Chuck, then Kurt, Dom, Hal, and Lauren.
Dom?
Yeah.
No,
and
really.
For women, it was Jeannie, Jody, Kay, Tommy, Terry. And then
Ricky
Carrie and Meg.
Sorry.
Meg. And so these names are kind of going out of fashion.
What is Meg?
Short for Megan.
Megan, right?
Yeah.
You know, the name Carrie has so many different spellings and variations. And like you said, Preston, could be man or a woman, like Cary. I think of Cary Grant or whatever, but it's Carrie, Kerry. Like there's just a whole bunch of different ways of spelling it.
Here's some other ones. I'm just going to scan these because some you don't hear of that often, like Myrtle.
Not a lot. I think of a turtle.
Phyllis. Rhonda. I saw a sign, Phyllis. You know what that's from?
Quick change.
Yeah, there you go. Very good. Woody, Wally, Vinny, Vern.
Woody?
Sorry.
What's Woody from?
Woodrow?
Woodrow,
Probably.
Vic.
Vic Rowe.
Let's see. Tad, Stan.
Stanley.
What the hell is Tad short for?
What's
I think that's
Theodore.
Theodore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyhow, if you have these names, they are going out of fashion.
Many of those are ones you just don't hear frequently.
Yeah.
I forget what had made the list of the most popular, but these are definitely ones you don't hear a lot.
But keep in mind the 100-year rule because they'll come back around.
Coming back, baby.
They will come back around. All right. Totally Presbo. Here we go.
Totally Presbo.
Here's a local story. Customers are up in arms after Montgomery County's newest Pizza Hut location failed to follow through on the promotion they promised ahead of their grand opening ceremony this past Friday.
What was it?
Leading up to the big day, the Flynn Group, which owns the new location at 111 West Germantown Pike in East Norton and several other spots in Montgomery and Chester County, said that the first 25 customers in line would receive free pizza for a year vouchers. But customers who waited in a lengthy line for the store to open said that employees at the store had no idea that this was going on.
Oh, my God. Wait,
man.
the employees didn't know?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
A spokesperson.
That's like us showing up to some of our events.
Yes. Who are you guys?
Yeah.
Hey, are you broadcasting?
No, we're giving away a foot massage.
And coasters.
A spokesperson for the Flynn Group in a statement did not explain why the store was not aware of the promotion. But they did say, unfortunately, there was some confusion about this morning's free pizza for a year giveaway. Our manager is in touch with our guests and is resolving the issue. We apologize for any inconvenience and look forward to serving the Norristown community.
So is this something that is standard when they open up a Pizza Hut location? Will they pick 25 people, or is this... Did someone just make a bad call?
No, I don't know if it's every location, but it's not unheard of.
Right.
They've done
All
it
right.
before. Some individuals said they waited for up to 2 hours or more and left without any pizza ticket. One customer said, when the store opened, the staff knew nothing about this promotion at first, then called them in. They showed up and they were, wow.
What?
Look at all these people here.
Yeah. Man, they must really be hungry.
Then they called the manager who claimed that there were only 10 passes. Needless to say, many people who also gave up a portion of their mornings were very disappointed, frustrated, and angry.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah. When the people at the place have no idea, years ago when I was on my second job, which was Dunkin' Donuts, I put a sign up way up high on the wall behind the cash register that said, ask about our Major League batting helmets.
Yeah.
And so throughout the day, the girls are at the register and you hear, what about the batting helmets? What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You did it as a joke?
Just as a joke.
Oh, okay.
And never said what it was, just said, ask about our Major League batting helmet.
The 10 passes were handed out, and the remaining customers left their contact information.
We should do that just at any random.
Yeah. What about those batting helmets? What?
Multiple customers said that they were given the phone number of an individual believed to be the store's manager, but that person did not answer any calls.
Man, you're playing with fire. You should now.
Yes.
I probably give free pizza for a year to 1,000 people.
Dude, when you have an angry crowd, it is so unsettling. I did this promotion one time for a radio station where we were giving away a car, and if you won a key, you would come in and use it, and I think we used the key to unlock like a treasure chest or something like that. And then inside were the keys to the actual car. We went through every single person there, and not one of the keys.
Oh, my God.
Yes, Kathy.
What?
I thought they were going to kill us.
Yeah.
And we're like, did everybody? Okay, we're going to go through this again.
At which key did you start getting nervous?
Like a dozen people left.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, this statistically
This isn't
should
right.
not
This is not good.
have happened because there were like over 100 people there. And I don't remember how it got resolved, but I just remember
everyone is getting a car.
and I just remember the unease of me being the guy with the microphone.
Oh.
Doesn't matter.
You're the
That's just
target.
the
Yeah.
talking
You're in
head.
charge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the one. I am the bane of their,
You're the
their
messenger
problems.
to be killed.
And I've seen this happen at universities, and it just happened this year where I can't remember which school it was, but they accidentally sent out acceptance letters to everybody that
No way, really?
Yeah,
That
and then,
applied?
and then last year there was a school in Michigan. It was Central Michigan. They have a Centralis scholarship, and they accidentally gave it away to all the applicants.
Oh, my God.
And I think they honored it. I don't know, Steve.
I didn't even
Maybe
know
100 or
Centralia
so.
had a school.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's and what do you
1,500.
do?
Here it is. 1,500 Georgia State University applicants got acceptance emails. It was a mistake.
But yeah, what do you do? What's the recourse after that? And those people started planning to go to that school, I'm sure.
Yep.
I mean,
Time to reopen the University of the Arts in Philadelphia.
We got a satellite campus at Georgia State. It's in Philadelphia.
I don't know, man, but nonetheless, it
I
can
told you I get into college.
it can get ugly. So I don't know how they're going to handle the
Everyone
pizza
says stupid.
thing for a year. All right, let's see what else we got here.
Totally Presbo.
Naked people are getting worried that there aren't enough naked people. Interest in the let it all hang out lifestyle has dropped in recent years around the globe. With the German Association for Free Body Culture saying their membership is just over half of what it was 25 years ago.
That's a substantial reduction.
Yeah. When you guys are standing in front of the mirror naked, if you ever are, you happy with what you see?
No.
Me neither. Okay, good.
And I work at it, but I'm like, I look up at heaven and I go, good one, God.
You're so funny.
Hell of a joke.
I mean, there are parts that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
But
overall,
the
would you
whole
give yourself
package,
a
oh my God,
B
no.
My
plus, B
right
minus?
nut is particularly smooth. I'm proud of my boy. No, listen. I don't think. It's like no. This is a mess. I would be curious to see what it would be like to be that person who's so.
Well,
who's the model we know from the area?
This is the thing, though. The people that the nudists, it's not that they love the way they look.
Yeah.
They love the way it feels.
They're comfortable.
Right.
And they feel, at least I think for some people,
I think you're right.
Clothing's a little restricting.
Yes.
And there's something very, very freeing about completely in the nude and being relaxing like that.
Having been at a resort that was adjacent to a nudist resort, I can tell you how people feel when they look in the mirror. It was clearly not a concern.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's about that natural, not being bound by clothing thing.
But I would like to know, like, mentally what person is going through. Like, when I see a dude just, like, walking around the locker room at the gym who, you're looking at him, you're like, well, you're not in that great a shape. You know what I mean? Like, what is it about you that, like, you're
I think
comfortable
there's
with
something they find liberating.
Yeah.
I am not made of that. I just am not that way.
Hey, listen, if it was all about body image, I mean, I was at the beach this past weekend, and there are plenty of people that it's just, they're not doing it, they're not showing that much skin because they are necessarily, quote unquote, showing off what they have. It's just, it feels good to strip down. You know what I mean? So
It does. I mean, I'm Mr. Winter Shorts guy. So, I know the liberating aspect of available skin.
But it's not just a problem bringing in new nudists. The organization canceled its anniversary celebration in August due to lack of interest.
No, that was supposed to be a pig roast.
Why the changing bearing at all? Association President Alfred Siglock said that there's a long list of reasons, including social media and the fact that everyone has a camera on their phone.
That is a good point. Yeah. You don't want to end up on somebody's Twitter feed.
You know what's funny about the way I judge myself in the mirror and the way I judge other people? Like, let's say I'm at the beach, is that I don't judge other people by the way they look. But, like, man, I am my harshest critic.
Critic.
Oh. No, I added a T to critic.
Yeah, and it's very cool. I'm going to use it. No, I know. I'm not overly. I don't. It's nothing that registers with me. I'm happy when someone is comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah.
And can be who they are and do all that, whatever the deal. If I see someone who is really looks like they're straining or they're super huge or whatever, I'm not going to make a comment or anything, but I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I think, there's an issue. But otherwise, let your freak flag fly, right?
Yeah.
Freak flag.
But apparently, it's the interest is waning substantially, which is kind of interesting. I would say. I mean, and we got the Philly naked bike ride here,
Yeah.
so there's plenty of naked people around us.
Huh.
I don't know.
And then the blood drive is naked this Friday, right?
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I like the idea. All right. At least one more Totally Presbo. Here we go.
Totally Presbo.
Hi, Presbo.
The status of high school valedictorian is an honor that many parents may be thrilled to see their child achieve. But what if all of your kids are successful in clinching that title? A Central Florida family may have made history after all 4 daughters were named valedictorian in their respective high school classes. A feat that is reportedly a 1 in an 11 billion chance.
Wow.
So,
Daughters?
Tracy Redina's 4 girls, Riley, who is 18, Taylor, who is 20, Elisa, who is 22, and McKaylee, who is 24, all graduated from the same high school in different years, and each one took home the coveted academic award.
It's amazing.
Yeah. My daughter they don't have valedictorian at their school.
Okay.
And but they do have essentially a valedictorian type of speech where one student is awarded the opportunity. What they do is they blindly submit what their speech would be, and those are voted on by the faculty.
Is there a different name for that? Like starts with an S, salutatorian or something?
Salutatorian?
Something like that? Yeah.
But that is I guess, next in line. So valedictorian is usually the number 1 ranked student in the class.
But that's not what your daughter's.
No, it's just.
So they don't have that rank.
They don't have that.
They've
Then who's Optimus Prime?
flushed that whole system. Some schools have done away with that in the past few years. But what I'm curious about is I wonder if from time to time if the valedictorian totally tanks.
Oh, I was just going to say.
In life later on.
I'm sure.
Do you remember your valedictorian?
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. And
it was a guy that I knew, Rob Herford. I was actually friends with him.
Did he tank?
We phased out. No, he ended up being a spinal surgeon.
Okay. Loser.
Yeah.
Preston, same. Our valedictorian became a doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's mainly, it's just academically based because Rob, while he was a nice guy to me, was not like a personable guy. He wasn't, he wasn't a, like a school spirit person.
He's always talking about spines.
Yeah, come on. What's with all the spines?
Shut up with the spines.
But occasionally, sometimes you get somebody who's that mix of academic, personality, school spirit, the whole package.
Our
deal.
school had one of those guys.
Yeah.
The high school
athlete, the whole thing.
And everyone liked him, and you knew he's going to go for. I don't know what happened. As I said before, our high school graduation involved a car driving up an unmarked police car. They took someone out in handcuffs.
Oh, yeah.
Allowed them to walk to process to get their diploma and then put them back in the car and left.
That was nice of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the damnedest thing you ever saw.
But you always expect, big and amazing things from the valedictorian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder if the weight of that sometimes.
I don't know.
But do you get that far without having the kind of resolve and ability to,
to be resourceful and to be, to make the right decisions.
There's a time when you put the spines behind you and you focus on radio.
The kid that was number one in our class was brilliant and, number one academically, Stephen. He ended up going to Duke, and which is a great school, obviously, but he got burnt out by sophomore year in college.
I can see that.
Because he'd been working so damn hard in high school and then got into a grade school and then started working so damn hard in college. And it ended up hurting him, and I think eventually he course corrected and he's fine nowadays. But there was a stretch where he was struggling.
It's funny you should mention that because my neighbor and dear friend and his family are just wonderful people. Their son is showing incredible aptitude, like really, like it looks like it's going to be off the charts sort of stuff. And he's making sure because he is a teacher himself. That's like keep it. You want to allow him to be challenged and engaged, but you don't want to create, one of these beautiful mind scenarios.
Yeah. Where it can be, it can have a detrimental
It's
effect
too much.
in their personality,
Right.
And maybe
I never had that problem.
Yeah, no.
I just put a mop bucket on my head and ran into the wall.
But apparently
he's going through a phase.
Parenthood, right?
Yeah.
Apparently the parents did not really put any pressure on the kids to achieve these. They just kind of did it on their own. These 4 sisters who ended up being valedictorian.
Are the parents
each one of them
of any great accomplishment, or are they
it doesn't indicate in the article.
Bums?
A bunch of bums, those.
You dumb bums.
Hang on a second here. Jay is a teacher at a high school, can explain the valedictorian and those ranks to us. Hi, Jay. Good morning.
Hey, sorry to bother you guys at work.
No, it's all right, man. What's up, bud?
So I'm on my last day at school. I teach at a high school. I actually teach Latin.
Oh.
I think Casey Boy and I went to the same college at Ursinus.
Nice.
And so valedictorian.
Oh, no. E pluribus unum.
Jay, are you there? There's a robot in the room.
They didn't want it to say it.
We lost him.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
For speaker.
Oh, wait.
We lost you.
Hey, Jay, we did not hear a single word you said. We completely lost the signal. And we lost you again. All right. Sorry, Jay.
Call back.
Gotta let you go, bud.
Yeah.
But, okay. Well,
At least we know part of it.
yeah, we know part of it.
We met Jay.
We did. And it was nice to meet Jay. Maybe Jay's a nudist, too.
And he
for all we
speaks
know.
he speaks Latin.
Yeah.
Do you guys have class rankings in your?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was just talking about. The kid that was number 1.
What do you? Where were you ranking?
Top 20%.
20%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Preston, what are you laughing at?
Wait. Oh. What was it?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
Bottom third, whatever that is.
I would tell you that there's so many and I've said this before, where you have a situation where I was tremendous in school for many years. When I started getting moved around school to school, that went to hell. Because I was always new in school, and I always felt like, the Eagles song was written about me.
Was it really?
Know that, yeah. I'm talking about Desperado.
Trying to think of when it went to hell for me.
That first
6th grade,
Yeah.
probably.
How black were your fingers at the time?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
When did you find band?
Band was like 7th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of saving grace.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
I mean, I've said this many times, but I was a pretty good high school student and a terrible college student. And I just, I could coast on a lot in high school, and then I thought I could coast on that same stuff in college and could not at all.
I really wish that I had a chance to go back. Not really, but what I do wish is I wish they had the programs in place when I was in high school that they do now.
Why didn't you
As far as independent education programs and things like that to tailor to the type of learning. So when you go to, sometimes you're filling out forms at maybe at any type of place, and they'll ask the question, what is the best way you learn? By reading, by video, by spoken? And if we learn how people learn and which ways they are most adept at that, I think you got a better shot at things.
So what you just said was perfectly illustrated by my college career. For the first 2 years, I had a 4.0 average, and they were basically here. I'm going to take you to this point. This is for communications and television production, film production. Here, take the camera out, futz around with it. And they were basically doing it that way. Then they taught all theory. They brought in all these new teachers for the next 2 years.
Did that kill it for you?
Well, we had no access. We suddenly weren't getting access to the equipment. We weren't being engaged on that level. Yeah. And, my grades suffered because of it.
All right, real quick, Jay called back, and then we're going to wrap things up. Hi, Jay, you're back.
Gadzooks, I'm back.
Gadzooks. All right, so you're going to explain valedictorian, salutatorian, all that stuff.
Yeah, so valedictorian is the Latin word for saying goodbye or be well, and they often give the goodbye speech, the charge you guys were talking about, versus salutatorian, which comes from the Latin word for hello or greet, and they often give the opening address or introduce the first speaker.
Son of a bitch.
There you go.
I did not know that.
And generally speaking, who is the valedictorian? Or is it the number 1 and number 2
They're
ranked
the number
students?
1. That's why they get the courtesy of speaking last or at the end.
Okay.
Are there any other iterations of that besides those two?
Those are the big two. The only other words that come into, Casey, or I forget if it was Nick or Casey was saying that their kid doesn't have valedictorian. Some schools do like with honors, with the greatest honors, and that Latin comes into play there. They do cum laude, magna cum laude.
Okay, that's what I was wondering about.
There's no splugatorian.
What's a pterodactyl?
Dactyl pentameter.
Okay, that's I was wondering about magna cum laude and what are the various laudes?
So the biggest is summa cum laude, and I went to Ursinus what Casey Boy did, and I was so mad because I got like 3.84, and 3.85 was the cutoff for summa cum laude.
Let me ask you: is there an O laude?
There is an O lordy.
I like the various loudies.
Yeah. But you couldn't have a professor like just kind of do you a solid, bump that B to a B plus.
Yeah.
See, I'm not a wealthy guy. I think if I had their Venmo or their Cash App at that moment,
now you're thinking. Now, yes, that's the way to do it, Jay.
So Jay
it doesn't hurt to pick up a little extra loot.
Similar stories. I just missed summa cum laude by like 4 points.
I think there was a conspiracy there. I think.
There you go. They had it out for you. Yeah.
I try to tell my students it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I do remember it 20 years later, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I mentioned salutatorians, and there's a notable list of salutatorians in the United States, including our friend Murr from Impractical Jokers.
Oh.
Yeah, James Murray.
So Murr academically had to be doing pretty well.
Yeah, Monsignor, Steve, maybe you know this one, Monsignor Farrell High School in Staten Island.
No, doesn't ring a bell, but I do know Staten Island.
Yeah, and So
Michelle Obama. I'm looking
did you go to Georgetown?
Who went to Georgetown?
Yeah, he was smart. I was on Sal's podcast. I'm also a comedian. I was on Sal's Hey Babe podcast once when it was down here at Soul Joel's. And
that's cool.
Okay, so
nice.
There's some heavy learning going
Thanks,
on there.
Jay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, bud.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. Thanks, guys.
You bet, man. Carrie Underwood was a what is this? Salutatorian.
Wow.
John Wayne.
That's right.
Was a salutatorian.
I want to say this is goddamn ridiculous.
John Legend.
I want to congratulate all the loudies.
Who else?
Richard Sherman. That's a surprising one to me.
Wait,
the football player, from Compton High School.
Connie Francis.
That's right. She's a singer.
Yep. She was just like, thank you, Mr. Wayne.
James Garfield, the president.
Garfield, the former president.
Yeah.
Assassinated.
Okay. All right.
Wasn't in office that long.
Summa's over Magna?
Yes.
You got that right, bro.
Yeah, Summa's over Magna. Because when we initially talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Jets are sharp.
Yeah. Well, my nephew just graduated summa cum laude from Temple University. Smart kid.
Huge.
I was stunned that I got and Kathy, you were going in New York. Did you graduate with a Regents diploma?
Well, no, because I went to school down here. In
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yes. I got a Regents diploma, and man, have I never used that.
What does that mean, Regents?
In New York, you took a Regents test. And
it was like our standardized test.
Right,
I think.
and you got a Regents diploma, and I can't tell you the amount of times no one's asked me about it.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, did you ever get a Regents diploma?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. One.
All right. That's about it for Totally Presbo this morning, but thank you.
Totally Presbo.
Bye, Presbo.
We will take a break and come back in a second. Some really good Bizarre File stories. Usually after the weekend, there's some good stuff we collect. So we'll share that all with you when we get back. Stay put.
Preston and Steve
on 93.3.
In no small part, because your reaction anytime Preston has ever brought this up is just complete revulsion. And
That's
so,
what
like,
we thought.
The fact that you're coming around on it, and I've heard a lot of people rave about it, I'm proud of you. I think that that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they still existed. I thought that this was a thing from years ago. Now, listen, I don't know nothing about menstrual sickness and all that. But it seems antiquated to me.
Well, so I think it's becoming a little more popular because they're saying that there's benefits to it. It's safer than wearing a tampon. It holds more, so you can go throughout the day, without having to change it. It's better for the environment, things like that.
Okay, so when you're saying it holds more, are we talking like a quart or what?
Well, Steve, I haven't used it yet, so I don't know, and that's part of my issue. I wanted to. I'm hoping that Mother Nature, the flow, kind of goes along, and I get it on the weekend because I'd love to try it, not having to come to work.
Well, isn't that a big? Well, you had mentioned in passing last night that was one of the things they mentioned. Don't take your first cup out for a spin while you're going into work.
Yeah, so apparently, yeah. So I'm on a group text with my girlfriends, and
the cuppers.
I think that 3 out of the 3 out of the 5 of us use it, and they were like raving about it. Go for it. No, you have to. Here's the one I use. Here's the one I use. There's different options out there. And so
do they have Yetis?
So me and the one girl who don't use it, we were like, okay, well, give us the what should we do? And the suggestions were. Don't try to take it out the first time, at least, or until you get used to it, anywhere but your own home and possibly even the shower.
Not at the mall.
Right. Well, that's what I'm worried about. I'm like,
not on all white Wednesdays.
Well, and so my other all white Wednesday. My other issue is, how much does it hold? Because
again. As Preston said, we don't know, nothing about this. And I too thought it was something like an antiquated, turn of the last century sort of thing. But so I do understand that it's probably very safe. The purpose is will it stop any flow? Will it?
Well, yes.
So it basically dams it up, correct?
Yeah, it holds it. So when you take it out, it's still there, and you have to clean your cup and stuff like that. But
I never see. You don't see ads for these.
No.
You know what I mean? Like tampon commercials are a regular thing.
The cup might be too much for like a television commercial.
I know why we were talking about this. I had a bizarre file story of a guy who was drinking tequila out of it. He thought it was a shot glass. And it was a menstrual cup, and his girlfriend or wife had posted it online, and that's how we got talking about it.
Okay, so I don't know, Kathy, listen, we don't know nothing about menstrual cycles here, but how many pints will you, on a heavy flow day?
How many pints?
How many gallons?
I'm not measuring them.
Okay.
Case, I don't know. That's the problem, because these menstrual cups they're not huge.
No.
So, I mean, I'm guessing they're made for to hold the average woman's.
Okay, so in the demonstration we're looking at here, Kathy, the woman dips a tampon down into some, which we assume is actual.
I don't think it's
actual blood.
I think it's probably water.
It obviously then it becomes larger, and so it basically serves as a plug.
I mean,
you would do this every. For how many days during your normal
cycle?
Like the tampons,
yeah, like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Excuse me, it depends.
And do you pour that into a larger jug that you keep by the front door?
But it's so.
It's like my belly button lint collection.
Ew.
I haven't started.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Please don't.
The other thing is, and I've watched videos, and not graphic videos, like the videos that we're watching here, of how to put it in place.
Right. Mm-hmm. And how many guys do you need to help?
I know.
I mean,
might
honestly,
have my mom come over and help.
For the video that we're watching, it's not. They don't have to use a blood red liquid. They could use like a blue liquid.
Well, I think they're trying to be accurate.
Yeah, we don't drink blue. Just so you know.
Yeah. No, you're thinking of the Smurf cup.
But like when they do like diaper commercials, they don't like use brown water. They use a blue water.
It's a little icky for Casey seeing the red.
Do you know what brand you're going to go for, Kath?
Well, so here's the thing. I purchased one. I just went to Target and I purchased the one at Target. It's called like a Himalayan salt menstrual cup. However, my girlfriend uses a site called Lola, and this is sort of like environmentally safe, chemical-free type of products for women. So I may order one from here, Nick, and try this one. Because here's the thing: there's different ones, and the one from Target has like
Lola.
Because what I've also heard is you might have to like dig around a little to get it out.
Bad choice of words.
Well, somebody texted in, and by the way, we're getting a lot of positive response from women listeners.
Yes,
male listeners,
not so much.
Not as much.
Sorry.
I don't think we understand it. But
so there, one of the female listeners recommended, Kathy, that there's one with a longer tip at the bottom of it.
So that's what I was worried about. That's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Also, Casey, there's a great documentary that you should watch. It's called Period End of Sentence.
I feel like I watched it, or no, it won a bunch of I was going to say Grammys, Oscars and stuff, right?
Yeah, and I believe one of the producers is local.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's about something that happens to half of the population on the planet.
Yeah.
And so it really just dives into.
I might want to watch it. Period. End of story.
Period. End of sentence.
Period. End of sentence.
Yeah. You're thinking of the sequel.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like. I read this book about this gentleman. No, I know. But this guy tried to live an Orthodox Jewish lifestyle for an entire year. He is Jewish, but he's not Orthodox. And so one of the traditions of Orthodox Jews is that when their spouse is on her period, they don't touch them.
Right.
And so for the longest time, they thought that it was a like kind of the sexist sort of like, oh, gross, get away from me. And it was more, what he found out was more of like a mourning. The loss of the possibility of having a child.
Okay.
So when you are shedding, yeah,
I don't judge. I find that very interesting. In this case, to me, it would seem, because I know there have been issues with stuff like tampons and things of that nature, toxic shock, and all those sort of situations.
Although
this would seem to be, to me, it actually would seem fairly easy. I was watching the demo video. She sort of rolls it up, and which allows for you to place it where it needs to be. And then once you let go of it, it expands to what you need it to be.
Right. I'm still worried about putting it in place.
No. By the way, so do they have different sizes of them? Do you know?
Well, so I didn't know this.
You said you're using the Joe Namath brand.
No, stop it. God, jeez, Steve.
Where did you come up with that?
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. I'm not a woman, and I don't even pretend I know what goes on down there.
Preston, I think there are sizes. I'm looking now here. It says mini, size 1, and size 2, and then you can click the size.
So for the ad campaign, this would be for the regular size.
Yeah, a couple.
And the mini would be
couple.
There you go.
Oh, it actually
a couplet.
It actually goes by the sizes are based on your age, because I guess your flow changes as you age. So if you're 30 or older, so that wouldn't be me. That's a size 2.
Oh, so
under 30 is size 1, and then the mini are for first time users.
We're watching the again. Couple. So this seems. So, Kathy, the little nubby at the end that one would use to extract would seem to be about kind of the similar purpose of the string.
Right. So what you're looking at right now, that's similar to what my friend uses, but the one that I got from Target, the little nubby is kind of long. So that's why I don't know if it's comfortable.
To paint the picture, gentlemen, if I will. The cup itself looks like the front end of a World War II bomb that you would see dropped.
Right.
Exactly. Video footage of World War II. So anyhow, but it's also got a little spire that sticks out from it.
Sort of an extended nipple.
A little handle, a little extended nipple, like a very lengthy nipple, if you will.
Right.
And that is what, now we're looking at some that actually have a ring on them. I guess these are reusable ones, Kathy.
Oh,
are
those
they
are
disposable?
No, they're reusable. You wash them.
Which is why it's environmentally better. Okay.
And it seems to be of a very malleable polyurethane sort of thing. I do see the merit in this on one level. I think it might be a way I would go. So let me ask you one thing, and again, not to be... at
this point, go ahead.
She's showing to me that they do have the Joe Namath brand on Amazon. That with the tampon, you are also... sort of cleaning the area when you extract. Can you extract this?
Oh, wait, what do you mean? Like cleaning as in you think taking the tampon out is cleaning?
It does it?
Cotton swab.
No.
Okay,
No.
I don't know.
No, because...
I only wipe my butt.
No, think about it. It's like it's saturated, so not so much.
No,
You're
okay,
not really
that makes sense. I was just curious if that served a purpose that I was unaware of.
On this cup, to describe that little tip again, if you were a guy and you have one of these hands, you would take your finger and flick it and go and make that noise.
Now I know you're okay.
I have to say, Kathy, I think this actually, as Nick started again, and I agreed with his perception, this seemed like something you'd be opposed to. Now that I hear it explained, it seems actually more cleanly.
Right?
Just the extraction process seems like it would be difficult because you're talking about something that's not plugged, it's not saturated into something. It's in a cup.
Exactly.
And you got to pull that cup out, and there could be spillage.
It's like playing a game of Operation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
But
like that.
Will your nose light up if you hit the edges of your...
But you want to do it in the shower, right?
I think
in the shower, of course.
I think the shower is a good idea.
You wouldn't do it while standing on the console here in the studio, right?
I think I'm not going to go that far.
Right. But if you were at work and you didn't obviously have the shower, would you then have two cups, like take one out, put the other one in? Because... I don't know how these things work, but like if you took it out and then you had to like clean it in the sink,
right?
You couldn't do that because you're still expelling things, right?
That's true. But I think also the point of this is you can go much longer than a tampon. So you're not going. You can go to work for the day and then come home and change.
And if you have 3 of them at work, you could set up like a little 3-card Monte game with a little ball underneath one of the cups. Ooh, watch the ball. Which one has the ball?
2 more and you have a flight.
That too.
Yeah. I'll have a flight of fluid. Hey, Kathy, what does an ablation do? Because I hear like some women after having babies will have an ablation to help with the flow.
Jerry Lewis invented that, right?
Case, I'm not exactly sure, but my guess is that it helps with because your flow gets heavier.
Okay.
I think a lot of times as you age.
All right. Calls from ladies who either approve or disapprove.
I want to hear.
Let's go to Rebecca. First of all, hi, Rebecca. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, that was well done, Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca, what's up?
So I have been a cup wearer for many years. I actually started with the disposable soft cups, which are really easy to use, and you can actually wear them during sex.
All right, so let me just ask again, as a completely ignorant to this. So they make them in both.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Some interesting stuff took place over the weekend. We will start with this story. 2 shark bite incidents just 90 minutes apart at 2 separate beaches on Florida's Gulf Coast.
This is effed up.
Left 3 people injured on Friday. 2 people are in critical condition, and a third is in a stable condition. The first incident left a 45-year-old female with significant trauma to the midsection and pelvic area, as well as amputation of the left lower arm. The woman who had been swimming just past the first sandbar with her husband was airlifted to a local hospital for treatment. The second attack involved 2 girls, 15 and 17-year-old, who had been swimming with friends just inside the first sandbar in waist-deep water. One victim received significant injuries to one upper and one lower extremity, and the other had flesh wounds on her foot. While the risk of being attacked by a shark is extremely low, Florida is famous for its beaches and year-round sunshine, of course, has consistently topped global charts for the number of shark bites. According to a comprehensive database of all known shark attacks compiled by staff at Florida's Museum of Natural History in 2023, there were 69 unprovoked shark bites on humans and 22 worldwide. 22 provoked bites worldwide. Florida's 16 cases in 2023 represented 44% of the U.S. total and 23% of unprovoked bites worldwide.
So I remember over the years of reading different books about shark attacks and being fascinated by this. For some reason, shark attacks tend to occur more frequently, Preston, around sandbars.
Okay, yep. So in that area, according to the director of Florida Program Shark Research, a combination of factors off the coast of Louisiana increased the likelihood of a shark attack. They included a high density of mullet and menhaden bait fish.
So one type of haircut will incite them.
That will do it. They go crazy for that. And a lot of good waves for surfing. And the churning water results in poor visibility for sharks, which on rare occasions bite at arms and legs dangling off of surfboards by mistake as they chase their natural prey in the murky water.
Want to go swimming, Case?
Yeah, no.
Here's a follow-up story. A kilt-wearing Texas man pleaded guilty to taking merchandise from antique stores and shoving the items up his rectum before returning them to display shelves.
Nearly killed him.
Mitchell Vest, 60 years old, copped criminal mischief in connection with the incidents earlier this year at shops in Spring, a Houston suburb. As part of a plea deal, the 6'6", 250-pound Vest was sentenced to 12 months probation. Since Vest is a first-time offender, if he successfully completes the probationary term.
Is it wrong, since the first time you read this story, that I now assume anybody wearing a kilt is rubbing stuff on their ass?
If he successfully completes probationary term, the misdemeanor conviction will be wiped from his record. According to police, Vest visited one store and placed a makeup brush and a restoration hardware piece in his butt before placing them back on the shelf for display. The owner of the second business, the Curiosity Shop, told police that Vest took an antique bottle opener and a tobacco tent can and placed them into his anus under the green skirt/kilt, then returned the items to the shelf. In both instances, the soiled merchandise valued at a combined $204 had to be thrown away due to, poop on them.
Can you frigging believe that?
Since his arrest, Vest has been freed on a $100 bond, described as retired in court filings. Vest and his wife own a $600,000 home in the Woodlands, a Houston suburb.
Jesus.
What he does. It's his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to do it on the weekends.
4 people were hospitalized after a bull escaped an arena at an Oregon rodeo and charged into patrons outside, authorities said on Sunday.
Back home to Oregon.
Yeah, video.
Dear God.
Showed a...
I call him Jimmy.
Jimmy. That's him calling him over into the crowd.
Yeah. Jimmy is one of those rodeo clowns.
Yeah.
Over here, Jimmy. Over here.
Video showed a rodeo goer charged and flipped by the mammal, which is named Party Bus, by the way.
Oh, that's a great name.
Sisters Rodeo Association said the bull jumped an arena barrier, charged onto the rodeo grounds, and ran to holding pens where livestock professionals contained it.
Don't destroy it. It's all part of the show.
The arena announced immediately, the announcer called for an emergency response. Video from the scene shows that Saturday's incident took place right before the last ride of the night was scheduled. A sold-out crowd was singing along to Lee Greenwood's God Bless the USA. 2 of the injured were released from medical care Saturday night. It sounds like nobody was really hurt bad. 3 of the injured were taken to hospitals via ambulance, and 1 was taken to a sheriff's cruiser. Organizers indicated one of those 4 may have been injured as patrons tried to get away from the bull.
So this has happened before. Doesn't it amaze you how much air they can get when they jump?
Oh, yeah.
Animal that size?
Some of the injuries were minor. I mean, if you just watch them when they're trying to throw the riders off, they're kicking way up in the air. The Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association credited the arena's pickup men and Jimmy for quickly containing the animal. So they were very happy with Jimmy.
Jimmy!
A man was eating breakfast with his wife when a cough and sneeze at the same time left him with a bit of a freaky injury. The Florida native's colon exploded.
Whoa!
Causing his intestines to fall out of his body.
No way.
Can you effing believe it?
Well, there's more to it than just a sneeze and a cough. The 63-year-old noticed a wet sensation, followed by sharp pain when he lifted his shirt and saw several inches of a bowel were sticking out of his surgical wound.
I'm wet.
He had recently had abdominal surgery.
There you go.
But doctors insisted earlier that day his incision was well healed. His wife called an ambulance, and upon arrival, paramedics said that they observed a 3-inch opening with large amounts of bowel protruding through it.
That's normally not like that, right?
He was immediately rushed to the hospital where surgeons were able to successfully return his bowel into his abdomen. After recovering in the hospital for 6 days, the man was sent home and experienced no further complications. This rare but serious complication of surgery is also called disembowelment and occurs when a patient's internal organs protrude through the incision because of wound dehiscence. Which is the reopening
That's what gives it the flavor
of a surgical site. A study found wound dehiscence, or dehiscence, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but is estimated to occur in up to 3 in 100 people who have had abdominal or pelvic surgeries, but can occur in up to 10% of elderly patients. It can be deadly for 4 in 10 patients due to excessive blood loss, prolonged severe pain, and injury to the organs that have been exposed. Experts cite coughing as a prominent risk factor for the complication, and authors of the report concluded coughing was likely the cause in this case.
So think you're this guy. Could you ever comfortably cough again?
When it does occur, it must be treated with surgery to replace the organs in the abdomen and close the open wound. A sterile saline covering should also be put on the eviscerations to keep the exposed organs moist until surgery can be performed.
I think the disgust is in that stuff should be inside of you.
Yes, that's part of the disgust.
Sliding out your ass.
All right, and that is what I have. Actually, it came out of his stomach.
I just changed it for fun.
That's what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back in a moment. We are hanging on this beautiful Monday morning. It's going up to like 80 degrees, just like what we had over the weekend. Getting up into the 90s by the time we get towards the end of the week, so enjoy this stuff. It's just phenomenal. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
And reusable.
Yeah, so the disposable ones I just kind of wanted to start out with to try them out, but they do also work for 12 hours. So, like, you get that long-term use out of them.
Okay.
Versus a tampon, you know?
Yeah. And you prefer it?
I absolutely do. So it's super easy to use. So the new one that I use, the Diva Cup, there is like a suction that forms to prevent it from leaking. So I typically change in the shower.
Now, am I reading correctly that it says here on what you were going to comment on that you can have sex while you have it in?
crazy. So there's another one that I haven't tried yet, but it's similar to the soft cup. So it doesn't have that little nub. So it's kind of more like a saucer, and it does not leak when you're having sex, and it doesn't poke anything that's poking in you.
Wow. Okay, and again, we're trying to slalom this because listen, there is so much.
Thank you, Rebecca.
We get away with as guys with not having to operate all this additional plumbing and concern and so on and so forth. So I would endeavor in every way to make it easier to to use. So I completely. My heart and my accolades go to anyone who's attempting to juggle that kind of stuff.
Rochelle has had difficulty with it her entire life.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so it's not easy for her.
No.
Every single time.
Yeah.
So she's got some above and beyond issues.
And it can be
it's very tough. And I feel horrible for her every time that it happens. And it's just, she's been going to doctors for years to try and figure out what's wrong.
Yeah.
And they can't figure it out.
And you know that here no pun. It's like the clock is ticking to your next encounter with it, and that's
it's coming no matter what.
Yeah.
So my friend who uses it just texted me, and she said, "No way, I would not have sex with it."
Okay.
Well, she said there's a different kind that's like a saucer. So
what does it say as far as the under the Joe Namath specs there?
Stop. But wait, I read about putting it in place, but there's also you can read about removing it, and the first step is wash your hands. The second step is relax.
Okay,
it's a picture of Joe Namath holding a football guard with my cup. Go deep.
Yeah, a couple. Hi, I'm Broadway Joe. Oh, my God.
Now, I'm not saying I know a lot about lady parts, but I do know.
All right, let me go to Kelly. Hey there, Kelly.
Good morning, it.
Good morning, Kelly. What's up?
I love this conversation so much. I've been encouraging my friends to switch for months now.
Okay, and are you being met with deaf ears, or are they opening up about it?
So I think they have the same concerns as Kathy with, inserting, removing, and then how much it holds, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so much better than tampons.
Well,
many people say
it does
that,
make sense.
And once you go to it, you're never going to go back. Like when people who switch, they are committed to it.
Kelly, how long ago did you make the switch?
So I'm actually pretty new to it. I just switched over the summer.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually pregnant now, so it's not like I need it.
Oh, so you don't need it right now.
Can I ask you also, so in the course of an average day, and Kathy, please feel free to chime in, I should say, how often would one normally replace a tampon during the course of a day?
Oh my God.
And Kelly, depending on, I assume, what you're used to emitting.
And which day.
Yeah.
I don't know, I would say at least 5 to 6.
So
right?
5 to 6. So you could get away with this for like 12 hours?
That's what they
say.
say.
Yeah. I only use it 2 to 3. I probably switch it out 2 to 3 times a day.
Oh, I'd be in.
That would be
to avoid doing that 5-6 times a day to just doing one shot.
Oh my God! Yeah,
totally.
And Kelly,
I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
Kelly, when you remove it, you wash it and then put the same one back in.
Yeah. So I just rinse it out. You boil it. You're supposed to boil it once.
Stick them in a stew.
Cycle. So it's usually
once during
exactly.
the cycle. Okay. Nice. And Kathy, we can buy you these as gifts and stuff, like different colors and things like that.
We can get you one that says "World's Best Boss."
Yeah.
I'm going to get a menstrual cup in the mail now.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my God.
Listen, we have loads of people on the line that want to talk about this. But we have to take a break. Can I go to one more?
Yeah, I would like. Yeah, we need to
let me go to Rachel.
This.
Hi, Rachel. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, what's up, Rach?
The cup, Gadzooks. I've been using the cup for a while. I'm on my third one.
Okay.
You're supposed to throw them out about every 2 years, or a little less. But, there's a measuring tool on the inside. So, Kathy, you could actually measure how much you are letting go.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh, okay. So as you pull it out, it's got little notches on the side of it that tells you how much. Okay.
On the inside, it actually says quarter ounce, half ounce.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So it's
like a jigger. It's
exactly. Yeah. On the rocks, please.
Right.
I'm a big fan. Good luck. I love it.
All right, Rachel. Thanks for the heads up.
That's what anybody who uses them, that's what they say. You're never going to go back once you get it down.
Reducing the amount of times you have to swap it out.
Yep.
It appears to be less detrimental to the environment. Also, it appears to be just in general more hygienic.
Nick, did you see any negatives on the text board? Because I didn't see any, and I didn't see any negative calls either.
No, I mean just people who are eating the breakfast.
Well, yeah, I mean that's yes,
right.
Yeah, of course.
But I'd say like for half the audience, this is a really relatable topic.
All right,
most definitely.
Nice.
Okay, and those of us who are married are probably concerned about our ladies as well about that whole thing. So,
yes,
I would like to applaud Kathy Romano for being so forthcoming.
No pun intended.
No pun intended with her personal life.
I will let you know how it goes.
Please keep us updated. Let's start posting your flow chart.
Okay.
And
on the air.
let's add Joe Namath and see if you can get an endorsement.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I play golf, I will get something stuck in my head. Either it's a song or something somebody said. And because you're spending a lot of time, walking and your mind is free to just think. And these things pop in my head and they will play for 4 hours over in my head. Yesterday, I had the weirdest one.
Yeah.
And it made me realize that I think I would have been a good husband to Kathy.
To Kathy?
No, you would not have.
I'll explain.
All right.
So all that was going through my head yesterday was, Baba Ganoush! Say it, Kathleen.
Baba Ganoush!
And what I realized is that's how she calls our wolf, Boltar, by screaming Baba Ganoush. But I realized that I actually like the sound of Kathy's voice when she's yelling at you.
Really?
Hence, I would have made a good husband.
I have not developed it like
Kathy
yet.
Romano. I know.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you would be a good husband. That means that you would just enjoy a lot of the anger.
Yeah, which means I'd be a good husband.
Yeah,
You're angry most of the
constantly
time. So, no, but I realized I like the sound of her voice when she gets mad or when she starts yelling. And I know some.
You find it amusing.
I do.
You would, though, to be in close proximity to it constantly would not be as enjoyable.
I see some of the text sometime that it drives people crazy when Kathy gets all fired up about something. I like it. I mean, I think just the sound of her voice, whatever it is, the resonance of your voice when you yell.
Here's the difference, though.
I like it.
You hop in your car and you go home.
I go home. I don't have to live with it.
Right.
Trust me.
So
like
you're like, wow, that seems great.
Yeah.
That's I just.
What does that
it's like
mean,
people,
Steve?
With my wife, they say you must laugh and laugh and laugh all the time.
Right.
And then say, yeah, I laugh and laugh all the time.
But I find it entertaining when Kathy gets fired up and starts yelling about something. And I've realized it's the actual sound of her voice, not necessarily what she's saying.
Let's cut to the real chase here.
Yeah.
Marissa or Kathy, if you had to marry one.
Marry one?
And as you said, you could, be in close proximity.
Yeah.
Which one?
I love the tones of your yelling voice, Kathy, but I would marry Marissa in a heartbeat.
Are you sure
over
Kathy
you.
can cook?
She can?
No.
She can't. Are you crazy?
Cooks.
Marissa can't cook. I know that.
Preston would be doing the cooking. That's not even on the table.
I don't know, man. Marissa's pretty controlling.
Not as controlling as her.
I don't know.
All right,
wait.
All right, Kathy, on the show here of the guys.
Oh God.
Oh.
It's you started it, Preston, with this realization that you're madly in love with Kathy. Who on the show would you pick as the best husband? Not lover or, into your crazy S&M stuff.
Okay, all right. Just husband-wise?
Just husband-wise.
Marissa.
Now you have to pick one of the guys.
I thought it might be Steve because Steve is in schmoopy doopy coopy.
She doesn't like that, though.
Oh,
Do
really?
you really think that I would
Okay.
be like
She's not going to answer. You want to know why?
I love you.
She's not going to answer because
well, let me think about
me.
it.
It's not. See, I knew you'd think that. Just on a basic level.
No. Here,
Think about it.
Don't answer for me.
There she goes.
Will you marry me?
Yeah.
I love it.
It would have to be, honestly, I'm not joking, the most organized person. And I think, Casey, that's definitely not you because I've seen your closet. I think it's going to have to be Steve.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're pretty organized, aren't
He's
you?
very organized.
I'm pretty organized.
He puts things
on
in right
some
angles.
level. Though I would say this, I am bizarrely, I will do like this. I will keep things at angles.
Yeah.
I'm not as clean as you are, Like
we could get a cleaning lady.
All right. I thought Nick might be that if you're talking organizational.
Are you serious?
I mean, not with his post-war Berlin look at a station here.
This is the only space I have.
Yeah. By design.
Yeah, I know. But I allow you, Kathy, to throw my stuff away. I don't care. Like if there's accumulation of crap It's fine with me if you grab it and toss it.
Okay.
Who?
Okay, good.
All right, Marissa. Marissa, who would you? Because Marissa, you don't want to get married at all, though.
No, I would never want to settle down. Just kidding, Mom. I don't know. I don't want to choose.
It's not an insult.
See, but she's got 4 to choose from, and we just have 2, so it's pretty easy for us.
It's okay.
Well, technically, Steve lives in the city.
That's important to you.
Because I'm paying city taxes. I'm much more attractive. Yes.
No, I don't know. You guys all have your own good qualities.
I would pick you for Preston. We can make it happen.
He does play instruments. I do like guys that play instruments.
There we go. You would call them musicians, right?
He has a beard, kind of, a little bit.
He has a facial
He
hair.
has a beard.
He likes cheese.
He loves cheese.
I love cheese.
There you go.
He's a good cook.
We are meant to be.
It's a match made in
Swimming in
heaven.
brie. What's that?
You know, you do these
Update on a story from last week. You saw this. A guy who went to see Fish at the Sphere in Las Vegas had posted a video of himself doing a bong hit. He snuck a bong into the Sphere, which we don't know how the hell he did that.
Yes.
It was a good size one. It was like, 1.5 feet long, something like that. And, and he tags the Sphere and Madison Square Garden in his video, and they therefore had banned him from every single property that Madison Square Gardens owns, and there are several well-known properties that they own, and they were pretty bold in the way that they had put out the statement. It was like, you will never be allowed to these locations for the rest of your life. We do not allow blah, 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 blah.
Right.
They're setting a precedent. Now, they have since rescinded that, and I didn't see a full story as to exactly why. I don't know if it was outrage, if people were rallying behind this guy, which I'm sure they were. But they have rescinded the ban now, and he can go.
I'm thinking it had to be blowback. Now, so is there going to be any punitive result?
I didn't see anything like that, but they still said, now, you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, don't be a good boy.
So, I don't know.
There was something, I think when you had the story initially, I was caught up in that he was having a good time. It was against, I'm sure, the fire code. I got it, but he added both in the Madison Square Garden and so like he's just, if anything, dumb, and thought, hey,
listen, you don't need to be doing bong hits in the Sphere.
You do not.
Okay?
In fact, you can't.
I'm sure you are a well-seasoned pot smoker. You could have picked up some edibles or something like that. It's against the rules.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Right. I think his approach was so, probably it came across to a lot of people as being so dumb. Like good-naturedly dumb.
I thought he was being brazen.
Oh, was that it?
That's the way I see it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember my band?
Your band?
Where were you banned from?
No.
Oh, Risque.
No. Well, no.
Was it?
I was too touchy-feely.
Was it a high-end store?
She keeps touching the customer's balls.
You can't do that.
No, remember I was banned from UPS, the UPS store.
I remember you having an issue.
This was years ago. I was banned from there. The owner told me never to step foot in the UPS store, so it was so annoying because I had to drive so far to UPS. And maybe about probably like a year or so ago, 2 years ago maybe, I was like, let me just I want to just try, see if he's in there or whatever.
Hey, you get out of here.
And I went in and he was not there. The guy was like, you could pick him out of a crowd of a million people.
Okay.
Like he was very different looking, and so he was not there. And so I've gone back. So it's sort of dissolved. I think the guy doesn't own it anymore. It's all new employees. It's young people that work there. So whoever.
Do you think if the guy was there after all this time and you walked in, he would throw your ass out?
I think you would recognize
Really?
it.
Wow.
It was a big deal. He was rude to an elderly woman who was having trouble. She was returning shoes to Zappos. I remember the whole thing, and he was so rude to her. She clearly didn't do this all the time. Someone like me who knows how returns work.
Right.
And so she gave the box, whatever, and she stood there and she goes, what is that all I need to do? And he goes, yeah, that's it. And she goes, well, do I get a receipt or whatever? And he threw the receipt at her. And I was like, oh no. She was an elderly woman. Yeah, I was like, oh no. So I ended up saying something to him, and then he told me to get out and that I was banned from the store and never to come back. So I took my package and
Hang on, question, was he the manager or?
I think he was, whatever. I don't know how UPS stores work, but he was either the manager or like more of an owner because he was
dick.
there at the time.
Do UPS stores have owners?
Are they
it was
his store.
Are they franchises?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I know that like you can buy routes of stuff like FedEx routes, but I don't know how that works for UPS and UPS stores. Kathy, you're kind of a hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a good band.
You stepped up.
Yeah.
That is a good band. Very good.
Really
fought for an old woman.
Put it.
So the UPS store is locally owned franchise.
Okay.
All right, didn't know that.
I was banned from 2 places, and Kathy, I wish I was the hero, but I was not. I was a total a-hole.
Right.
First,
you were yelling at an old woman.
Well, no. I definitely had a phase in my high school years where I was a smart ass to adults, and there was a lady who worked at the KFC that was next to Carnal High School. Man, and I loved their parfait there at KFC.
Well.
And I was mouthing off to this lady. Listen, I thought I was being funny. I was just being rude, and I was being disrespectful, and she asked me to never come back again.
Wow. So she asked you? Was she yelling?
She told me to. Okay. I'm never allowed back there again. So I had to
F around and find out.
And I found out, the hard way. And then there was another one. There was a 24-hour convenience store down the street from my college that I got caught stealing a Slim Jim, and I got banned from that store by the night manager.
Did they take your picture?
No, but she knew what I looked like. But there was a guy named Andy that used to work there as well. And Andy, we used to let come party with us at school. And so I would walk past the window, right? And Andy would see my face. And the lady was working. He'd be like, shake his head. He would shake his head no. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm not going in. I would hand my money to my friends, tell them what to get me. And
all right, we
banned from 2 places.
We haven't had this conversation in a while. So where were you banned from and why? 215-263 WMMR. Now, on a different note, I have Jenna on the line, and she is a glass artist and knows this guy who smoked at the Sphere. So let me go to her. Hi, Jenna. Good morning.
Gadzooks, guys. How are you doing?
Gadzooks, we are awesome. All right, so you know the dude?
I do. I am good friends with him. We go out all the time. We have sessions at my studio. He's bought some of my pieces, and he's snuck his pieces into a lot of different shows all around Philly, New York, Jersey, everywhere.
And so it's kind of his thing?
It is, yes.
Okay. And was this one of your pieces he was smoking at the Sphere?
No, that was not one of mine.
Okay. Have you talked to him since this took place?
I just messaged him. I said, dude, they're talking about you on MMR. And he's like, dude, that's great. Like,
yeah, can we talk to him?
I can see if he can call in. Absolutely.
Yeah, text him. Yeah. Would love to hear from him. What's his name, by the way?
He goes by Terpy. His Instagram is Under the Glacier.
Okay, Terpy.
Oh, so he's not. Who's Acid Farts then?
I have no idea who that is.
Okay.
Instagram was the Instagram handle that we saw it posted on was originally Acid Farts.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
You sure this is the same guy, Jenna?
It might be a different guy who posted it, but he is the actual one.
He's the actual one who was smoking. The Acid Farts may simply have been in proximity and posted.
Yes.
Okay.
How did he feel about the ban and everything?
So I didn't talk to him about that. Not yet. I had no idea. My weekend has been kind of crazy with the events that I was at, so I didn't get a chance to reach out to him yet.
Okay. All right. So you make pipes and bongs and stuff like that?
I do. I actually talked to you guys, and you posted my video of me making a pendant.
Oh, yeah.
You're very talented.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. That was really cool stuff. That's awesome. Well, congratulations on your budding. It's
a pod reference.
Excellent. Well, listen. Tell him to give us a buzz if he gets a minute. That would be great to get it firsthand from him.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks for the call, Jenna.
Not a problem.
All right. See ya.
I don't know if it's the same guy.
Okay. Well, we can ask him.
Yeah, because I'm looking at that guy's Instagram, and I don't.
Are we on Acid Farts?
No, what she told me.
Under the Glacier.
Under the Glacier.
Oh,
guy,
I'm on Acid Farts over here, which is a sentence I've never said, and this is the guy, at least on this account, Casey's, where it was posted about him getting banned, but perhaps there's two accounts.
Yeah. Or maybe this person, maybe Acid Farts is just posting about it, not saying it's.
We got to get to
him.
the bottom of Acid Farts.
Yeah.
So Acid Farts is probably his business.
Correct. Yeah,
Instagram. You want to keep them separate.
Right.
By the way, representatives for the Sphere said on Saturday that the ban was an error due to a breakdown in our process. Statement reads that there was a breakdown in our process due to a change in personnel, which resulted in the letter being sent out inadvertently. This customer is not banned from our properties. However, it is still against our policies, which are in accordance with local laws to smoke, bring glassware into our venues, and disrupt other fans' enjoyment of the event.
How would a letter like that, banning someone from all of their properties, do they just always have that in the queue ready to go and it accidentally went out?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they said that the lawyer's letter was a mistake. That they set out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Always hire a lawyer who wears a cowboy hat.
Yep. If we haven't learned anything, we didn't need to remind ourselves of that. All right, hang on. Let me go to, I have Mike, who's been banned from somewhere before. Hi, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Sorry to bother you guys.
That's all right, man. What's up?
Not much. I was banned from the Rite Aid urgent care over there in Ardmore. My wife had come home from work, and she had said she was having shortness of breath and a bit of a panic attack. When we went to that urgent care, they just opened, and we walked in, and I don't know if the lady wanted to close early or what, but she's like, oh, no, we don't do that here. So I off the cuff turned around and said, all right, honey, let's get out of here if I burn this place to the ground. And she had called Lower Merion Police.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go through this and figure out where the issue might have occurred. It's the burn the place down. That probably.
We went to the next urgent care there in Wynwood, and of course the police show up and they're like, "Oh, were you just at this urgent care?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "That's terroristic threats."
Do you see now in retrospect that was probably not the thing to say?
Absolutely not. And then it was a pain because we had to switch where we got our prescriptions. And it was just, my wife is none.
Honestly, if you had to go through all that, I'd go back and burn it down.
That's a different story, Mike.
Yeah. Well, you guys enjoy your day.
All right. Thank you, Mike. I was going to see if you got any legal trouble, but they definitely banned him.
Yeah. It's not like Kathy. Kathy, did you threaten to burn down the UPS store?
I did not,
Okay.
but he told me I could never come back, and I told him, no problem, I will never come back here.
Here's a text that says, I know the guy that banned Kathy from UPS. He was an ass.
Ah, see?
Yeah.
Yelling at old women.
Yeah.
And here you are with your mid-20s.
I know, I was so young because it was a couple of years ago.
Man, I can't stand, people who are the manager or more specifically like an owner and they know it and they're rude and they don't,
Yeah, they don't care.
They're rude to people. They don't care. They can do it if they want to. Technically, they can be that way. I mean, of course, it's the law of diminishing returns. You keep throwing bad energy out there. Eventually, your business is going to go under.
It'll be gone.
You know how you get back at them? Burn their place to the ground.
Burn it to the ground. Let's get out of here before I burn this place to the ground.
Come on, honey. I'll be back later to burn it to the ground.
Christine,
that's my man.
Christine is on the line. She got banned from somewhere. Hi, Christine. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Christine?
Well, I was banned. My ex-husband and I, a few years ago, we were flying to Las Vegas on Spirit Airlines, and we were having a couple drinks. It was right after COVID. It was a time that you had to keep your mask on unless you were drinking or eating.
Mm-hmm.
And when we got home from our trip, like 3 months later, we got letters in the mail from FedEx, and we're opening it up, and it said that we were banned for life from Spirit Airlines, and we could call in 2 years to see if they would lift the ban. And we were like, what is this?
Well, either you're banned for life or you're banned for 2 years.
So wait a minute. So for having your mask off and drinking, which you were allowed to do, nobody ever said anything to you about it, and you just received a letter in the mail.
Correct.
That's insane.
That sucks.
You should burn that place down.
The stewardess and the steward were like giving us a hard time. My ex-husband was super obnoxious, so he was kind of arguing.
Okay, well, there you go. So then you divorced him. But now did you rectify your deal with Spirit? Are you?
I tried to. Yeah, I tried to. I tried to call them actually about 6 months ago because I was flying out to Arizona, and they said that I had to call the airline. which I did. And then the airline said you have to call from the airport you were banned from. And I'm like, well, which one? So I called Philly. They said you have to call the other one, which I called Las Vegas. It was a big old mess. I ended up getting on a different airline anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's now see, and that the issue, of course, is that your ex-husband, apparently you said, was kind of a dick. He fanned the flames. So I guess I can sort of see it on one level.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks,
so,
Christine.
you should go to UPS.
But how has the 2 years passed?
The 2 years has passed, which is why I tried to call to see if I can get back on them. But it was a big old hassle, and I was like, I'm better off flying a different airline. Anyway.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Thanks, Christine. Appreciate it.
Have you ever been banned from anything, Preston?
No. No. I've never had the "you're not allowed back here again" official.
I'm so
speech.
pleasant. They always ask me to keep coming back more.
Can you just hang out for a while? That'd be great.
Do you want to get banned from somewhere?
No. I'm good not having that one. Let's see. I will go to Jim. Hi, Jim. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good, man. All right. Where were you banned from and why?
Well, I was banned from the YMCA, and I just gotten back from a few years vacation.
Okay. You had just gotten back from a few. What did the state sponsor this vacation?
Well, actually, the federal government.
The federal government.
Of course. So my social skills may have been a little rough.
Sure.
All right.
That makes sense.
But I was working out, and there were some older gentlemen, and they were talking about the fishing trip that they just had right next to where I was working out. And I was really nice to them. I really was. I just asked them, could you gentlemen please go down the way and talk about trying to concentrate here? And they did, and I walked into the locker room, took my shower. When I got out of the shower, I'm at my locker, and I hear these guys on the other side of the locker saying, did you hear that a-hole telling us that we couldn't talk next to where he was working out? So I walk around the locker. Now, mind you, I just got back from vacation, so walking around naked in front of men was okay. So I walk around the locker, stark naked, and I said, that a-hole has a name, and his name is Jim.
Okay.
So nothing happened. I walked out, and the lady called me to the desk, and she said, "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to not come back." And I said, "What's going on? What's the problem?" She said, "Well, there's some older gentlemen that feel threatened with your presence." So she gave me my money back, and she told me I wasn't allowed to come back to the Y.
Wow.
I was thinking when it was going to be more of a confrontation. That was just simply a mild exchange of words, and they banned you.
Well, I've got a few tattoos, and like I said, after vacation, I was kind of big from working out. Maybe they just felt threatened, I guess. I don't know, but they're the kind of guys that are there every morning.
Yeah.
Like to say, like Norm at the bar. So I guess, if they feel threatened, then, and honest to God, there was no hostility at all, but maybe I just looked a little like I just.
Well, when you say tattoos, none of them would have been all the rage in 1935 Berlin, would they have?
No.
Okay, all right.
Like that.
All right,
No,
so okay, I got you. All right.
But Jim, maybe they knew you had just gotten back from vacation too.
I mean, maybe, they could, I don't know, maybe they could smell the testosterone. I don't know. I didn't have it tattooed on my forehead.
All right, Jim, but you've not gone on any more of these vacations, have you?
No, sir, I have not.
All right, good. Good for you.
Look, I just want to share with you, when I got out, I built a company, and I just sold my company, and I'm retired.
Good for you. Good for you. Yes.
So there is a life after vacation.
There is.
Happy to hear it, buddy.
Good for you.
All right, thanks, Jim. Take care, man.
Have a good day now.
Federal government.
I don't know what I would do if somebody asked me to not have a conversation at the gym. If I was just, it's a difference between having a loud conversation and just.
If you're standing adjacent to people who are working out in close proximity, that to me is kind of rude. But if you're
for talking to somebody,
if you're standing right next, I don't know if you're standing right next to someone who's trying to maintain a level of focus, like right next to them, that could be a problem. But if you're at your own station or it's a public place and people are talking, put in your earbuds or develop better focus.
Yeah. Right. All right, let me go to Sean. Hi, Sean, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Sorry to bother you at work.
No, it's all right, man. We're talking about people getting banned from certain locations. How about you?
I was banned from the Sprint store in Deptford, New Jersey.
Okay.
The Sprint store in Deptford, New Jersey.
What occurred?
Yeah. They had given me 3 straight defective phones, and I got a phone. It was broken. It was a Friday. I was headed to the shore.
I got my new phone. I opened it up, and it was broken. And I immediately went to the Sprint store, and I said, we got to fix this today. Like, you don't understand. I'm going away. I need this fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you're not eligible for an upgrade. There's nothing we can do. And I said, well, that's not acceptable. And they said, you can actually call Sprint customer support through one of the phones that's tethered to the display case.
Okay.
So they're going to have you, because you don't have your own phone, use one of the tethered phones to call for tech support or assistance.
Correct.
Okay. What happened?
And so I'm calling, and they kept transferring me around like a hot potato.
Oh.
And about 35 minutes in, by the way, and I'm already at peak rage. I'm way hot angry.
Yeah.
And I said, I swear to God, if you transfer me one more time, I will pull out every phone in this display case and I will riot. And people around me started getting scared.
As you could well understand.
Understandably.
Yeah.
And at that point, somebody came out from the back and walked up to me and said, here's a new phone. Please leave and never come back.
Wow.
Now, let me ask you, did the phone work?
That phone worked, yes. It was
All right, so you're saying if you really want customer service, you need to riot.
Yeah.
That's right. You know what? I think the cats of the world might be on to something.
That's funny. Wow.
Wow.
And Sean, did you ever have need to or try to venture back into that Sprint store?
No, because I switched to Verizon.
Thank you, Sean. It's a great story. Appreciate it. All right. Let me see. I'm going to let's go to Alan here. Alan, good morning to you.
Good morning, bitches.
Hey, what's up, bitch?
Hey, so I was actually invited to a soft opening. So this place wasn't even open to the public yet.
Okay.
A soft opening to a nightclub. And it was invite only, so a friend, I was lucky enough a friend invited me, and it was open bar.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So, obviously I'm like, hell yeah, I'm 22, 23, I forgot how, I was pretty young, legally drinking. And within an hour or two of drinking so much, I threw up behind one of the couches. But I thought I was slick and got caught. And then the person that invited me told the bouncer, hey, no, he's okay. He's not going to do it again. He goes, okay, if he does it again, he's out of here. As soon as he turns around, you hear me goes, and I'll tell you, that was the first time I've ever seen a kitchen at a nightclub.
Take this guy through the back. Oh, my God. So, Alan, how long was the bar or restaurant around for very long after that?
No, I think it was open for like a good 5-6 years.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, don't come back here.
Don't come back here.
My
Man.
friend would say, yeah, they don't want you there anymore. I said, fair enough.
Yeah, no, they should understood it.
That's funny.
I
Thanks,
want
Alan.
on the business side, they talk about how if you actually lay down the law and say we don't want you in here, because they used to, at least in department stores, would take your picture.
Yeah.
And kind of, at least as a gesture to show they were serious, or put it in the security office. Does that even exist anymore? In that
I don't know. I remember you had mentioned jokingly to Kathy about a strip club being banned from there, but when we were regulars at a few different clubs, Club Risque, if you go back into the office, there were pictures with notes on them that said, do not allow this person back in. They had photos of people. A lot of them were dancers. They did not want back.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That happened at swim clubs. You bring a guest in and they would misbehave or,
Yeah.
They put your picture right up there. Or at least
and
at
they
my
were
swim club,
strippers, too.
And they were strippers as well.
Let me go to Trey. He's got a good one. Hi, Trey. Morning, bud.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. We were talking about getting banned from a location, and you?
Yeah. This is one that I like to share every once in a while with my friends. Looking at about 16, 17 years ago, it's about 1920. 3 friends. We were out in Atlantic City just for the weekend from college. Couldn't get alcohol readily. We're just trying to entertain ourselves for a bit.
Right.
So we were walking around the Tropicana in Atlantic City. And we first went to the Spy store there, and we bought fake mustaches. There was one lady in the group. And we were just walking around with sunglasses and mustaches, very 60s, 70s spy thriller.
Uh-huh.
And then we decided to take the elevator all the way to the top of the Tropicana, and we're like, cool. So we got up, but there were still 10 more floors, so we walked the rest. And then we found a hatch with a ladder up to the roof.
Oh my God.
And so and we weren't inebriated. We were just like, oh yeah, this is what you do. And so we climbed to the roof and took some great pictures at sunset. Wow. Just looked around, just looked at all the amazing, Atlantic City skyline.
Right.
How it is. And then we come back down the ladder and we're just all yapping and having a good time. And then we turn around and there's this whole group of gigantic men in alligator skin suits just staring at us. And we're just looking at them with our sunglasses and fake mustaches. And they just stare at it. And all they say is take that, crap off your face. And of course, my friend Whitney, she didn't. Because she's like, what are you talking about? And then we had to.
So Whitney had a fake mustache on as well?
Oh, yes. And she didn't take it off when they said, crap off. She's like, what are you talking about? And we then had to proceed to ride, the employee mechanic, serial killer elevator.
Yeah, yeah.
All the way down in complete silence, 60-something floors or whatever it is. And then they walked us blocks away in silence. And we were nervous, but it was very funny, but we didn't want to, we kind of dug into the situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was complete silence. And we walked blocks from the Tropicana with these men surrounding us. And they eventually said they decided we were far enough from the Tropicana. They said, never come back to this place again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys weren't worth them really doing some damage to you, but you felt that it could have gone one way or another.
Yeah, we've all seen Casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, looking back on it, you're we snuck to the top. We got on the roof of a casino, Ocean's 11. We could have been casing the joint.
Yeah.
It seems like it could have gotten real bad.
Think about it, though. If you were to go back and without your fake mustaches, they wouldn't recognize you.
I just put on the glasses with the big nose.
Yeah.
Did you ever try to go back to the Tropicana?
No, we flirted with, I think it's the Hard Rock is downstairs. We popped in for a drink, but we didn't want to test the water.
No, not worth
I
it.
think we look very different.
All right, thanks, Trey. Appreciate it, man.
The Spy Store had fake mustaches?
No, but yeah, man, casinos you don't want to mess with casinos.
No.
You just don't want to end up there. Let me go to, excuse me, did that come out?
That did come out.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
okay.
heard it.
Sorry. Let me go to, speaking of casinos, I have another call here. I'm going to go to Ed. Yo, Ed, good morning.
What's up, you dumb bitches?
Hey, dumb bitch. What you got, brother?
I got a lifetime ban from Valley Forge Casino.
Okay.
Went there with my buddies. This is probably 10 plus years ago, and having a good time playing blackjack. I'm up 300. Well, that all went to crap. I ended up losing the 300 plus another 500.
Oof.
We were drinking, went to the bathroom, came out. I was upset. Put my fist through one of their brand new touchscreen slot machines.
Dude, come on. No. Dude.
I didn't even hit it that hard. So we run out of there. Hop in the car, get home within, I'd say, 3 hours. The state police are at my house.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so they're like, all right, the casinos are going to press charges, but they want you within 24 hours to pay for the screen. I'm like, all right, how much is the screen? They busted out the receipt right there. It was $1,600. So I go back down to the casino with the $1,600. They take me into the back. Here, I didn't know this. They have regular clothes state police officers on the floors, 2 of them at all times.
Didn't know that.
No, either did I. Well,
Yeah.
they almost caught me before I got to the car. So either way, I go down there. They take me in the back room, and I say, kidding around, is this where you guys break my wrist? Guys like, nah. It's those days are done, but we are taking a picture of you, and you're permanently banned here.
Wow.
Life, so.
Permanently banned.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
How long
Never
ago?
did that.
How long ago was this, Ed?
I'd say probably about 12 years ago.
Wow. And
Yeah. Well, here I was using my my card, my rewards card, so that's how they were able to get me. So
right. Do you think 12 years later
Yeah.
that you could wander in there and nobody would know the difference?
They did take a picture, and they said if I'm there, it's trespassing. I will be arrested.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
listen, the
We're
likelihood of them being able to enforce things like this now is actually more like a possibility because of facial recognition software. The simple picture hanging up on the wall, you're asking a lot to happen for an employee to remember that. However, if the security cameras have that software installed, they're going to red flag you when you walk through the door.
Exactly. I've thought about it, but it's not worth it.
Not worth it. All right. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it, man. All right. We'll see you, bud. Our good friend Meredith, who always brings by comedians.
Yes.
We've known Meredith for 18 years, is on the line. She's on our Xfinity mobile guest line. Hey, Meredith.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Wonderful. So, did you get banned from somewhere?
I did. I hope my friend Jody from high school is listening to this because many, many, many years ago in high school, I got banned from West Coast Video.
Oh, Meredith got banned from West Coast Video.
What'd you do?
I don't. Well, I think the guy was being very rude to me, and I think I said to him, you're being very rude, and you're rude to everybody. Everyone thinks you're rude. And he said, well, you think I'm rude? You're banned, and your whole family's banned.
Whoa. He banned your whole family.
Yes, and my mom and dad, they were banned. I don't think he banned Jody because she was with me. I can't remember that, but we were banned. So, I remember a few years later, we went back in. I went with my mom, and there was a different person there, and they said, oh, he's fine. He hasn't been here for a while. He banned a lot of people. We will unban you.
Okay.
I wonder how you ban someone's whole family. You'd have to then ask, what are the various members of your family so I know to put them on the banned list?
Yeah.
Well, I guess because, he had them connected to me,
because you all had accounts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
You hellion.
My poor parents are banned.
But Meredith was a good band, like Kathy. Just standing up
sticking
for
yeah.
somebody who's being rude.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. All right. Thank you, Meredith.
Thank you, guys.
All right. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
I wonder if Meredith was trying to sneak out with a copy of Lady Chatterley's Love.
And that's the real story behind that. Wow. Well, this guy that was banned at the Sphere apparently is no longer banned. They said they sent out prematurely sent out a letter that said he was banned from all of their facilities, and they've walked it back. They said it was an accident, but maybe it's a PR thing. I don't know.
They modified it. He's now banned from Suncoast Video.
Okay. Well, no more Lady Chatterley's Lover. But thank you for the calls. We do appreciate that very much. We are going to take a quick break. Come back in just a moment or two with more of the Preston and Steve Show. So stay with us.
Preston and Steve on 93.
Sorry, when you're in the dating, there's and the check columns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cheese?
Hair?
Beard? His beard is made of cheese?
Kathy, do you think I'm attractive?
Wow. All the Buckle Bunnies laughed.
Now I have to reveal it.
We're excited to have our next guest on, and outside of acting, he has a whole world of music and is bringing that here to the Philadelphia area. It was just announced he's going to be playing Ardmore Music Hall on March 12th.
It's a great venue.
Tickets will go on sale tomorrow for the show, so please welcome Kiefer, William Frederick, Dempsey, George, Rufus, Sutherland. This morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
That's what the Wikipedia page calls you, Kiefer, but I had no idea you had so many middle names.
Yeah, I think my father was in a lot of debt when I was born, and I think he just kept telling people that I'll name my son after you if you forgive the bill.
Wow. Well, that's a way to approach it.
Plan. Kiefer, so question about the show at Ardmore Music Hall. Is this a full band? Is this you and a guitar, acoustic? What kind of show is it going to be?
It's going to be acoustic. So part of the show is just going to be me, and then I have two fantastic special guests: Mark Copley, who's an extraordinary guitar player, and Rocco DeLuca, who's going to be playing pedal steel and lap steel.
Ooh, it's a cool sound.
I beg your pardon?
That's a cool sound. The pedal steel.
Yeah, it is, and he's a phenomenal player as well. And but what I really enjoy about the show is it's so intimate, and we get to kind of tell some stories about why I think these songs are worth you listening to in the first place, and have a drink and play some songs, and it's just a really nice night to kind of come together, especially after the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So really, really looking forward to it.
As a performer, as a guy who I'm sure, since you're musically inclined, has probably played with bands and so on, you and a guitar, that's pretty naked up on stage. Did it take a little while to get to that point and feel comfortable doing shows like that?
I'm still not comfortable. I mean, I I think one of the funny things, you know, as an actor, if you get a little nervous, and I do, I use that nervous energy, you put your hands in your pocket if they start to shake a little. Doesn't work as well for a guitar player.
Yeah.
And, you know, and look, if it does, I've always believed very strongly, if it doesn't make you a little nervous, you should probably doing something else.
Okay.
And so, yeah, for me now, it just kind of goes away after the first or second chord. But certainly waiting in the wings to go on stage, either as an actor or as a player, gets my adrenaline going, and
cool.
And I hope it will feel like that till the day I die.
Well, the album is called Bloor Street, and it's your third. And and it's funny. I know that when you have somebody who's known for what you're known for, and you know you take the foray into music, of course you're obviously going to be met with the initial, okay, what's this guy doing? And the truth of the matter is, as I was listening to a lot of the music, it's very good, and it's and also reading about your approach to it and your love of it and how visceral it is to you. You love your acting world as well, and in fact, during the lockdown and pandemic, most of the hardcore stuff, you were still busy. I think you did 2 movies in a limited series, and. The question I have for you is, prior to that all happening, you wrote a couple of songs, and then you wrote the bulk of it during the pandemic. Would we be able to discern the songs that were written prior? Do you think?
That's a great question. I think you would. You know, I had such a profound kind of reaction to the lockdown. I've been moving at a mile a minute for the last 20 years. I don't think I've been home for more than 3 weeks for the last 10 years. And so all of a sudden, I'm actually sitting in my house, and it's like, oh, wow, I actually like my house. And, oh, cool, I actually like my dog. And I like my girlfriend. And, wow, this is pretty cool. And so I became profoundly grateful. You know, I've been fortunate enough to have a career that people can only really dream of. I've been allowed to do things that I'm interested in, and I know that's not what everybody gets. So a lot of the songs, whether it was songs like So Full of Love, you know, if you had told me 4 years ago that I was going to write that song and write a song that was so positive, I'd have stabbed you in the heart with a pencil. I just wouldn't have believed you.
It would be hard. It's hard to wrap your mind around it. Yeah.
And there I am sitting in the shower going, so full of love, I can't hold it together. I'm like, who the is this guy? So that was kind of my reaction to the pandemic. And I don't want to minimize how difficult a time this has been for so many people. But I couldn't help but be really grateful for my family and my friends who I wasn't allowed to see like everybody else. And it afforded me time to take stock in my own life and how lucky I have been.
Well, I wanted to ask about the title track, Bloor Street, because I don't know at what point that song was written, but, you know, it seems to be a nostalgic look back at a hometown. I get this kind of, Bruce Springsteen, My Hometown, lyrically, Main Street from Bob Seger, something.
Bob Seger, one of my favorite songs. Yeah.
And I've always loved that type of song. It could be talking about an existence, a place that I have no connection with growing up, but I still get an emotional connection to it. Is this indeed about Toronto, your hometown? Or?
It is. Bloor Street is the main thoroughfare through Toronto, going east and west. And we were shooting a television show there called Designated Survivor, and I hadn't been home. We were there for 3 years, and I hadn't been home for that long a period of time since I was maybe 16 years old. And I came upon this kind of main intersection in Toronto, on Bloor Street and Yonge Street, and I realized all of my firsts had happened there. My first job at the food court in the Hudson Bay Center, my first meaningful kiss with a girl in front of the Bloor Street subway.
Wow.
I think the first fight I ever got in and lost was on that corner. So I just got very nostalgic and just started writing really about how grateful I was that I could grow up in that town, which afforded us a kind of freedom that I certainly know that my kids and my grandkids did not experience. We were on the subway at 11 years old. I mean, who would do that now?
Right, right. You're saying so much that's true, because that is, I actually am, it's been a while since I've been back to the town I was raised in. It's been 20 plus years. And I think I'm at that point where I want to go back because it does mean something. And those you pick those hallmark, benchmark moments in your life, and that does mean something. And you need to reconnect. I agree with what Preston was saying about songs that do that. So much of what you write about with this album has a resonance to your experience. Two Stepping in Time is kind of just a real love song, and I assume it's written for your girlfriend, correct?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And a friend of mine who I was recording with and I was writing a lot of songs. I was being kind of prolific at this moment. And he said, you should really write a waltz. And I started on the guitar, literally sitting around the kitchen island. And I was going through a kind of thing as a writer where I wanted to write about what was in front of me. And I think the very first line of the song is cigarettes in the ashtrays. All in a line, empty glasses of whiskey show the passage of time. And those were the items that were, in fact, right in front of me. I have since quit smoking, the one thing that I can thank the pandemic for. Wow. But yeah, so it's, and then, so the guy was sitting to my right and my girlfriend was sitting a little farther down the kitchen island. I figured I should start writing towards her instead of him if I wanted to have a good evening.
Did you?
And
did you
and
write I'm sorry. I just did you write that song quickly? I was reading.
Yes,
like 20 minutes, I think. Right.
Every once in a while, songs kind of write themselves, and this one was certainly that. It was finished because we were actually having a nice evening. And my friend had kind of put this task in front of me, and I wanted to go back to having our nice evening. So the song got written very quickly. But it's a love song. Again, not something that I spend a lot of time kind of doing. I don't write a lot of love songs. So when something like that happens, that's a great kind of song to put in your pocket and take with you.
It was interesting to read that you consider the touring, and you haven't had a chance to do a lot of touring over obviously the past couple of years. But I think you run contrary to a lot of people who create music and say that the process of touring is sort of a detriment to creating songs. And you, on the other hand, find it very helpful and it informs your songwriting. Would that be correct to say that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. In the 3 years that we were doing Designated Survivor, we played over 500 shows. Wow. I remember on the second record writing songs that were specifically designed to enhance our set list. The live thing is something that I just caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I have. And I think that there's an amazing moment, or possibility at least, when you explain why you wrote a song. And I wrote a song called Saskatchewan about the passing of my mother. And there were times when I would play that song and I could see someone put their arm around a friend in the audience. And I could realize at that moment that person's going through something similar.
Wow.
When we can come together and realize that we've got these things in common and that we're going through this thing together, that's a great night. I mean, that's a good evening. And so it's something that's made a deep impression on me, and hopefully for the people that we get to play for.
Kiefer, I want to ask you about your voice work over the years, because you've done some narration, you've done animated movies. I love you in Monsters vs. Aliens. The warmonger character was terrific. You've done, The Simpsons, and narrated a few other things over the years. Does that lend itself to your ability to sing, perform on stage? Do you get training from doing narration or voice work that you can then bring to your music career, or are they entirely separate?
They are pretty separate. The voiceover work started actually for me in a very funny way. My dad was doing commercials back in the early 90s for Volvo. And I think one evening he whispered in my ear what they were paying him. I think the next day I called up Volvo and told them I did a really good Donald Sutherland. I'd do it for half the money.
Undercutting your dad.
Which I don't think he really appreciated. I thought it was a lot funnier than he did. But it's its own thing. I mean, when I think of someone like Mel Blanc, who did all of those cartoon voices, and which, Monsters vs. Aliens, I hope I don't get sued for this, but I completely ripped off Yosemite Sam. Bring on the fearless freak. I hate rabbits. And but it's an awful lot of fun, and it takes you back to being a kid and just loving cartoons and listening to cartoons, and so it is a lot of fun to do. But they're very, very separate kind of entities.
You have lived a very, very interesting and full life, and obviously voiceover actor, musician, but you're kind of a cowboy too. You've competed in rodeos and have won roping championships. What's that? And do you still do that?
I do not. I think 24 kind of put an end to that. I've been doing it for a decade, and I had two partners that I would rodeo with. One guy named John English, just an amazing all-round cowboy, and a guy named Mike Wolf, who has since passed. Really loved it. I mean, it was kind of like being in a band. You and about three other cowboys kind of load your horses up onto a trailer and go from town to town, doing rodeo after rodeo. We had more fun than we probably should have. And it was a great experience. And it was so nice to do something kind of different. I did that for about a decade, and I did films at that time. But it was a great kind of refresher, because when I went and started 24, that was going to be a whole very intense decade of just doing that show. So the rodeo actually kind of helped cleanse my palate, if you will, for a lot of work. And I enjoyed it immensely. And I got to see parts of America that I don't think I would normally have seen.
Right. I wanted to go back to the songwriting and having songs kind of just present themselves to you. And, with two-stepping in time and having it be so quick and present itself and you write it. Did you get a chance to see the Peter Jackson Beatles documentary?
I sure did.
I mean, for you, that had to be, as it was for us, to see the creation of songs that have become so iconic. What a mind blower!
Yeah,
you sleep outside again this weekend?
No, almost though. Almost.
Are you sleeping outside as of late?
I slept on my deck Friday and Saturday nights last week, and it was awesome. I loved it.
You weren't getting bit by the sand fleas?
No,
this wasn't down the shore.
Oh, not at the shore. Oh, here.
No,
he brought some back in a mason jar.
Yeah, no, this was at home. And so on Friday night, I wanted to just kind of hang out. It was a beautiful night, and I turned I brought a TV outside, and I watched the Phil's game, and I had the fire pit going, and I was just kind of.
It's nice.
Hey, you know what? Thank you, Sequoia Outback, for making my backyard a sense of pride and joy.
Comfort and pride.
Comfort and pride. No, but so I'm laying out there, and just my family was out there, one by one. Everybody was going to bed, and then it was just me and my daughter, my oldest, Casey. And
did they do the Sound of Music? Good night.
No, because it wasn't like in succession like that.
Okay.
It was but I was like, hey, let's sleep out here tonight, and she's like, no. And then next thing I know, it's 5:30 in the morning, and I woke up and I felt like $1 million, and I didn't even I have a couch, and I have a love seat. I slept on the love seat, right? It wasn't even big enough for me, and it was awesome. And then the very next night, kind of did the same thing. We had a couple people came over. We were just hanging out by the fire deck or fire.
Did you feel
pit.
good again the next day after sleeping out?
Yes.
Wow.
You're finding so you and you have your blankets, right? And everything.
Yeah.
So the first night was kind of by accident, right? Or no, no, that's right.
There was intent.
It was a little. I would say half and half. A little bit more spontaneous.
And I know how that is, because you remember earlier this year I told you guys I had the best night's sleep of my life.
Yes.
Cherish these moments.
Yes.
I mean, they don't happen that often.
Before you know it, your sleep has grown up and off to school.
This past weekend, so we had my youngest had the Girl Scout group over. These kids are still in Girl Scouts, but they're like 17, 18 years old. And so we had 13 people total at the house. So that meant that Rochelle and I needed to bunk together, which does not happen very often.
Even on the weekends, you guys are
okay, totally separate. Yeah. And I again was reminded why we don't do that over the weekend. No. But Rochelle was sick, so she was coughing a lot.
So that helped.
Kept waking me up a lot throughout the night.
When we go away, if Claire and I will, it's okay if the beds are separate. We get two beds.
Yeah.
It's just we have come to the realization of we just want to sleep in different ways, and it's just not. It's not an assessment or a critique.
No,
but I'm considering this because today, like you said, Sequoia Outback, we're getting we're getting our deck to completely redone. It's
Yay!
It's like 15, 18 years old. I don't know how, but it should have been done 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's going to start getting ripped up today. And so now I'm flirting with the idea. It won't be done for a while, but if the weather is still conducive.
Of sleeping out there?
Of sleeping outside, because, I mean, look at it outside. It looks gorgeous, man.
One time, Preston, I went to sleep. I think it was a Friday. It might have been a Thursday or Friday. And Claire and Shannon, our good friend Shannon, out there in the area, the outdoor living, Sequoia furniture, the whole thing, cushions, they got the blankets, the whole thing. I go, hey, guys, good night, guys. And I'm getting up to go to work at, I'm going out the door at 4:15 in the morning, and I'm looking over and going, they didn't bring the blankets in. And I walk over, and they're both he slept the
outside,
whole goddamn night. Yeah, outside.
So, listen, I was camping, but, I went to the Grand Canyon last year, and you have the option to sleep in a tent. I slept under the stars every single night.
There's something wonderful about
that.
Yeah. Now, sometimes what will happen is you might get a little crickety because,
Well, and also it can happen is you wake up soaking wet.
Yeah.
If there's dew overnight. I remember as a kid doing that and waking up just being drenched. I'm like, oh my God. Or if it rain, just morning dew.
Or if you forgot you have a sprinkler system that goes
that too. That too, absolutely. But no, I was curious if the weather it might have gotten a little chilly overnight this weekend.
So between sleeping outside and showering outside, what takes precedence?
Oh man,
shower.
Yeah,
Kathy, you're into that, right?
A shower, yeah.
Yeah,
but that's only like
it's just a little bit. Yeah, it's not much time.
It's like an hour and a half if you do it right.
If you are doing it right.
Bring a couple beers in there with you.
Would you do a bathtub outside?
Well, a hot tub.
Damn.
There's like some resorts that have bathtubs outside, right?
Yeah.
Like on private decks or whatever.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
When I was in the Virgin Islands, I decided I slept outside 2 nights.
You didn't get bit?
You couldn't get a room.
Dude, well, the first night I passed out.
Sleep in quotation marks.
I was with Cuervo. Cuervo took us out there. It was Cuervo Nation.
Yeah.
I woke up soaking wet. I'm not sure if it was the tequila that I had spilled on me or something else. But when I woke up, there was a phone in my lap that was off the hook, and a broken bottle of tequila at my feet.
Were you wearing a foam rubber cowboy hat?
That's not necessarily how I intended to go to sleep that night. But the night after that, I slept on a hammock, and that was pretty awesome.
Hammocks are great.
Yeah.
I want to get a hammock. This is the summer of hammock.
Hammocks are not great for sleeping. Hammocks are great for relaxing.
Yes, exactly.
You can't move.
If you fall asleep in one, you end up with like your neck in a whole bunch of different contorted positions. Yeah.
Agreed. You can't really roll.
No.
Switch positions.
They're the water beds of non-water beds.
That's a good point.
You know what though? I just read something about water beds. What did it like? It helps with your back. Like you would think that it would make it worse.
I would think it would make it worse.
But it
there's
makes
no foundation.
Yeah, it helps. It helps people who have back issues.
Interesting.
I know.
Water beds will make a resurgence because of that. I remember for a time there were loads of stores that were exclusively
We talked about it.
stores. Yeah.
Hello. By the way, I'm also kind of a hammock snob. I prefer a hammock that is situated between 2 trees. I don't like those hammocks that come in a stand. Do you know what I mean? Where
sometimes you don't have trees available.
I know.
You want the traditional hammock that's hanging from 2 trees.
Something you might find on Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, because the hammock with we had a deck that was very, very large, and we had one of those stands and put the hammock was on the deck, so it's a perfect spot for it.
Did you use that much?
Yeah, a lot.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a hammock guy.
Not to sleep, but to just relax, like Nick was saying, to lounge and relax.
Are you going to get a hammock for the deck redo?
No. I'm over the hammock thing.
Over the hammock.
But why? What's your reasoning?
I guess it's because my neighbor had a hammock growing up, and that was
I had a hammock.
it was situated between 2 trees. And it was really comfortable. I just, so maybe that's why.
It's also a classic look, the hammock between 2 trees. We don't have the available trees. We could put them between bushes, but I think it would fall down to the ground.
Somebody texted in saying they didn't sleep outside over the weekend, but they did have sex outside on a deck down the shore Saturday night.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Wonder if it was at a hotel.
It was on your deck.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Who are they?
Oh, by the way, this weekend at the shore, because we were down there with the Girl Scout crew, it was in Wildwood Crest and Wildwood. It was the Elks Lodge weekend.
Yeah, I saw an Elks from Brigantine.
Yeah, there were
in
Elks
Wildwood.
lodges all over the place, and essentially, Steve, they would rent out the entire hotel.
Yeah.
And
so
ours,
classic, like
Yeah.
blowout.
Yeah, so they had at the hotel that we lived nearby, they had a DJ, and he was great. We sat outside and listened to him all night long. Yeah,
awesome.
it was
So,
excellent.
I assume because of the nature of the beast that there's some sort of something going on every weekend out there, correct?
Maybe not every weekend, but yeah, there are definitely themed weekends.
Do you ever head over to the Moose Lodge?
There goes the New Jersey State Elks Convention and Parade was
There you
happening this
go.
weekend, so that was what was up.
Yeah, so what's going on? All right, and then Senior Week is going on right now down there as well. What does an elk do? Because two of my cousins...
fly.
Okay. Do they really? That's amazing.
Flying. So, Case, I assume they're like
social clubs,
Yeah.
or not just social, but
they do
philanthropic.
charities and philanthropic, like Knights of
Yeah.
Columbus, Knights of Elk.
Nick has pulled up information about the Benevolent Order of the Elks. Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks was established by Charles Algernon Sidney Vivian, a British expatriate and member of the Royal, I can't remember.
Antediluvian.
Yeah, Antediluvian Order of Buffaloes in New York City.
Antediluvian Order of Buffaloes, we may now begin. It's like the Simpsons. And now we eat ribs.
Wait a minute. It was organized as a club for minstrel show performers.
Well, that's gone.
The impetus of the group's founding was the death of a fellow actor to disease due to a paucity of funds for treatment and a desire to organize communal support for fellow actors in need.
So the Elks Club began as a sort of a fund for entertainers.
Yeah, a support.
What is the well, almost like a SAG-AFTRA,
Yeah.
SAG Elk.
See. In 1976, the Elks had over 1 million members. As of June 2020, it claimed to have more than 750,000 members.
Was there ever a point in time where actual elk were members?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't say that. It says throughout American history, many Elks Lodges have been criticized for excluding African Americans, Jews, Italians, women, atheists, and other form of membership. The Improved Benevolent and Protective Order of Elk of the World was founded in 1897 due to the exclusion of African Americans. And then it goes through the whole history of it. But I assume, that it's like a fundraising,
yes,
and social.
I know they do a lot of good work.
Event,
They're the ones that taught the elk to fly.
Well, somebody had to.
I'd say this: there was an Elks Lodge right where we used to live in Massapequa, Long Island, and that place was awesome. Yeah. They had a huge facility, and it was catering wise and everything. It was tremendous.
And you guys ever hang out at an American Legion?
Yes.
Yeah. How much did the beers cost?
Cheap.
Yeah.
Dirt cheap.
Yeah, literally like a quarter.
$1.
Yeah.
Something like that.
There's one right over in Manayunk that I would somehow I ended up in there twice. I don't know why.
Steve, there's one in Paoli, which is where I grew up, and most of it, I'd say like 85% of it is underground. And so you got to go down the steps to get it. But my friend Tim's dad was a member, and we would go when, 21, 22 or whatever, because the beer was so damn cheap. And we were able to go because his dad was a member. Like, you can't go.
No.
If
and they
if
had
you're
things
not
like a bumper pool there.
Yeah, they had bumper pool, a lot of cigarette smoke that they imported. If somebody wasn't actually smoking at the time, they made sure to import smoke. But it was fun. We had a really good time hanging out.
We were out for a girls' night this past winter, and we went to the new hotel and bar that's in Conshohocken. Hook and Ladder is upstairs at the Sky Bar. We were having drinks, and so when we left, that whole area used to be the old firehouse. So some of the stuff is still there. So there's a little bit of the old building still there. We had no idea. There was like a door, and we were like, oh, that's like a secret bar over there. And we're like, oh, and it was definitely one of these places. You're talking about, Lodge or whatever.
Is that what they call washies?
Yeah, that's what it was. The Washies Firehouse. Yeah. So we don't know what it was, but we were like, oh, let's go. Let's see. My friend's like, oh, we got to know somebody in there. We'll be able to get a drink. We walk in. First of all, we open the door. It's carpeted. It smells terrible. And we look, and it was like the record scratch. We were all dressed up. It was holiday season.
What are you girls looking for?
I was in pleather pants. We had sequins on. It was ridiculous.
And then the whores came.
Steve, it was, it just got quiet everyone turned. They were playing pool and just stared at us. I was like, I think I was the second one to walk in. My girlfriend who was in front of us, we took a few steps and we just looped around and we walked right back out. And everyone, there was like 6 of us, everyone just followed and we just did a loop and walked right out.
Wow.
Hi, everybody. Was there a guy like leaning halfway with the legs of the front of the chair up and he just fell back?
We didn't even know. We were like, okay, we're not wanted here. We got to get out of here.
That's funny, Kathy. It was a carpeted floor in a bar. Where
That's like
everything
having
gets spilled.
A shag rug at a slaughterhouse.
Yeah. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. Forgot what I was gonna bring up.
Did something happen down at the shore where there was something with the
You know what,
Casey
man?
saw a story.
I did, but you know what? It's not.
It's not true?
It's not. No, it is, but it's not what we thought. Somebody stole a concrete beach ball off of somebody's lawn in Wildwood. So when you go to Wildwood, you see like they had these giant concrete beach balls.
So
that
it wasn't
are
one of those?
By the Wildwood sign, too. Yeah.
Because I was wondering how the hell you do that. Yeah.
So it was smaller. I just watched the Ring video, and this kid, like I said, senior week's going on right now. So somebody's walking past a person's house. They picked up a concrete beach ball that was about the size of a bowling ball.
Oh,
but
that's nothing.
Because when I first saw it, I was like, how the hell do you steal one of those concrete beach balls?
Well, even that, I would love to see these kids trying to hit it over a volleyball net to each other. Wow. Okay.
Well, speaking of beach balls, I left my gigantic beach ball down at Keenan's. I hope they still have that.
The one, did we use that? Did we end up using
the relay?
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was where the our beer mile people turned around.
I thought it had popped.
That one did pop.
Okay.
So I bought another one that was better.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it was an interesting weekend. It was a beautiful weekend for sure.
Gorgeous.
The weather was just... Did you do anything? Did you get outside?
No, I just took care of stuff that I wanted to get to on the house, but I did spend a lot of time outside. I do like, and I was always reticent of this notion of outdoor living and making it outside.
Yeah.
And I love outside. I love hiking, but I just don't, I wasn't routinely sitting outside.
Yeah.
Now I do.
Yeah.
A lot of it has to do with the sun and having
have
the
shade.
umbrellas and all that stuff makes a huge difference.
You have one of those giant like umbrellas that you can move all over.
That you can tilt. Oh, they're awesome. You have as well, Preston. The big square suckers. They're not, that bad cost-wise, especially for the result that you get.
Yeah.
You can cover a huge area, and then as the sun is moving, you can tilt it at all different levels, and it'll drop the temperature by like 15 degrees.
Yeah. Kathy, I was thinking about you at the beach this weekend because to me, the key to great beach experience is shade. Lots of shade.
Gotta have it.
And I was thinking, I'm like, Kathy is never in the shade at the beach.
Complete opposite.
Yeah, you like to be exposed, out in the sun, laying out and everything. Yeah, we had. I think we had 5 umbrellas up.
Yeah,
because we had 13 people out there with
That's
us.
why if you go to ever do a vacation or a trip to a place that's like a resort or the Caribbean or whatever, I'm like, I want to look at the brochures and see how many of those friggin' cabanas that they have things to just do big umbrellas to protect you. There's no way I can sit out on a beach for hours. I would explode like a vampire.
No, I have one of those umbrellas that actually connects to my chair itself, and then when that's not enough, I can get under the big umbrella. I can't sit on the beach in the sunshine. I have to be underneath shade.
Yeah.
And then also, do you guys bring like a parasol essentially, just like a
so
regular?
I can walk around like a pretty girl?
No.
An
umbrella?
Yeah.
Like a handheld umbrella?
Yeah,
You do that?
I use a handheld
case.
I discovered that when my son was playing soccer and I was just dying on the sidelines, and I went to the car and I grabbed a regular rain umbrella.
If I see a nice looking fella, I'll drop my handkerchief.
Listen, I could, especially at soccer tournaments and things like that. It's full exposure to sun. There's nothing that allows you to get some shade.
Got your parasol?
I could see you having a parasol.
Yep. And so
Maybe
that's
a doily one, something like that.
I say.
Yeah.
That's when it started, and then I used it all through baseball and all that other stuff. I just was at my daughter's track meet, and I brought an umbrella with me then.
A fun fact about the word parasol means it's a French word, and it means to protect you from the sun. Sol is sun, and para is protecting. And then the French word for umbrella is parapluie, which means it protects you against the rain.
I told you guys about the guy who invented the umbrella. He was initially going to call it umbrella, but then he paused for a second.
Pause for a second.
I messed it up. I had already told this joke on this air.
he did.
I did.
this air?
But thanks for remembering.
No, not pause. But then he, Brella.
Nailed it.
The hell is that? I can't think of the word. This is why I'm bad at jokes, because I can't think of words.
I thought it was good.
I didn't. I don't remember that one.
I'm not good with words.
Yeah, that's okay though.
Thank you for coming to my comedy show tonight. I want to warn you, I'm not particularly good with words.
Oh, dear Lord.
There was something else I was going to say that was going to be awesome.
Okay.
That was pretty awesome.
In line with that, or a completely different subject?
No, it had to do with being outside.
Coming up tonight, I'm going to be saying things that are awesome.
All right, since we had mentioned the beach, what you think about what you think, because if you haven't noticed, this particular segment now is completely has no direction.
No.
It's not even stream of consciousness now.
No, it's not. I forgot about the stream of consciousness.
Stream of consciousness, nerd. I mean, really stream of consciousness, nerd.
If you do find yourself at the beach and you encounter jellyfish and you get stung, apparently the peeing theory is, according to this person, not true.
So
It can
I've
actually
been
make
drinking it for
worse.
nothing.
No, not drinking. Peeing on someone who has been stung by a jellyfish.
Drank a quart of piss.
Amanda Joy, certified physician assistant, associate medical director at MedStar, says that the peeing theory is a myth.
What about poop?
Don't let your friends urinate on you. We don't need to be doing that. Who has to take a dump? Quick, I got somebody stung over
Poop
here.
on Uncle Carl.
But I didn't think that was for jellyfish anyway. I thought that was for sea urchins. I thought if you stepped on a sea urchin or you got stung by one of those, that peeing on that.
I had heard jellyfish, so in case I'm not sure about sea urchins. Joy said instead the recommendation is to remove the jellyfish's tentacles and irrigate or clean the water with seawater, not with tap or bottled water. And then you want to soak the skin in hot water to help dull the pain.
Hot water.
If anything, Joy said urine can trigger the release of more venom.
Oh, the piss actually makes it worse.
Yeah.
Have you ever been stung by a jellyfish?
No. Have you?
No. I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man, it happened all the time when we were kids.
Really?
And
Oh,
I
my
had
God,
it.
yeah.
I had it all. I had them. I would swim around. I used to swim way far out in the ocean. I'd swim across. And the sound there is a little inlet called Eaton's Neck, and swim out around the anchored yachts and boats and stuff like that. And we had those purple jellyfish, and I was swimming around them all the time. Never got stung. Even I'm stunned by that.
Once or twice a summer, Jersey Shore, and Steve would be on the beach. You know, the dead ones that would wash up, and you could step on them or swimming in the ocean. And you know, we've talked about this a million times, but when you swim in the ocean at the Jersey Shore, you can't see a damn thing.
Right.
You know, so a jellyfish can get right up next to you, and you don't even know it.
They scare me.
Yeah.
Jellyfish scare me.
Yeah.
They seem pretty mindless. You know?
Yeah.
That's what I think. And
they won't fetch.
Yeah, Nick. When I was in Acadia, the house that we stayed at, it was right on the water, and it was crystal clear water. You could see all the way down to the bottom. The problem was there were tons of, and they were like, I guess, lion jellyfish, maybe.
Yeah,
like they
were not truthful.
Lion.
Oh,
Lion. Lion. I might be.
I'm an
misspeaking.
angelfish. No, you're not. You're a jellyfish.
They were beautiful.
They are, but the sting is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in Sweden, when we stayed there with Rochelle's family, they they had a house right on the water, and you could look down and you see these orange, they almost look like basketballs, like that size. And I was just like, I am not going in there. We did go in there, but I did not feel comfortable about going in with all the jellyfish all over the place.
They call it lion's mane, Casey?
That might have been it.
My God, look at that.
I mean, they're really beautiful. You could see those doing some damage.
Is it cold water? Like
North Atlantic, yeah.
So, Case, after many years ago, and I can remember the image is seared into my mind. We had gone on, my dad had won a cruise through work to Bermuda, and we are on an ocean liner. We go into the harbor, Bermuda, and the hurricane, a couple of hurricanes just passed through the area. So jellyfish travel by the flow, whichever way the water's going. Well, so also do a Portuguese man of war. And so there were a ton of them in and around the area. And I looked off the side of the ship, and a bell, this jellyfish about the size of half a car.
Oh, my God.
Came up to the surface, and I'm like, holy hell.
It's
That's
cool.
scary.
I wouldn't want to be in the water. I would love to see that, but not while I'm actually in the water.
Here's a random text, and it just says, jellyfish don't pay rent.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Preston and I were Press and I were at Maurice Piers on Friday.
But real quick, is there any context? Like, is that a line from something that I don't?
Maybe it is.
It's true.
It sounds like it would be.
It's true.
All right, so we were at Maurice Piers on Friday?
Yeah, and we were on the Ferris wheel. And so my son had said something to me earlier this weekend about how clean the water is down Jersey Shore. He just heard that it was clean. But Press, when we were at the top of the Ferris wheel and I was looking at the ocean surf, I noticed that. I was like, man, that looks really, really, I wouldn't necessarily say crystal clear, but it looked clean.
Sometimes seasonally and weather conditions can promote a clarity to the water. Maybe that's what you were seeing.
Well, it was pretty brown when we were going in.
Oh,
was it a clear brown?
On Saturday. It was a very clear brown. But there were a lot of dolphins out and about this
Eating
weekend.
the jellyfish.
Probably. I don't know.
I think they do. I think dolphins eat
Nick,
jellyfish. Yeah.
When you were stung by a jellyfish, was it the type that had tentacles on them, or was it just?
Yeah. Well, yes. And so the ones that would get you in the ocean, that it was the tentacles, and then the dead ones that would wash up on the beach. All you have to do is they're clear, so you could step on them and not realize that you were stepping on them.
Wait, I thought the clear ones didn't sting you.
No. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to it, Kath. Like sometimes if it's a clear one, there's stinging tentacles that are still left there. Sometimes there's not.
And they can sting for a while after they've been quote unquote dead.
Yeah.
I need a ruling on this. Was this a funny move or was this a dick move? I was walking down the beach in high school with this girl, and we were walking, and there was a jellyfish in the surf, dead. And as we were walking past it, I kind of nudged her with my shoulder, and she stepped right through this thing. I still think it's funny. Is that a dick move or is that
Wait, she
funny?
stepped on what?
She stepped through the dead jellyfish. She didn't get stung or anything like that.
I would call that a dick move.
It's a dick move?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Me personally.
Don't you remember? I think we had one of my friends on the show who got stung by a jellyfish in the bay at the Jersey Shore in his pants, and he had to go to the doctor, and the doctor was pulling out the little things from his
I remember
junk.
that story. Yeah.
I remember that.
That line, by the way, is from a Jimmy Buffett song called Mental Floss.
Okay.
Jellyfish don't pay rent.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Makes sense.
You've got stingers in your balls.
Dumb Casey question. Do people eat jellyfish?
I don't know.
We have asked this question, I think, before, and I don't know if we ever came up with an answer. I would assume yes, because I assume, like Japanese cuisine can be very inclusive when it comes to sea creatures. So I don't.
So several types of foods and dishes may be prepared with edible jellyfish, including salads, sushis, noodles, and main courses.
Don't jellyfish, aren't they used to create types of gelatin? Or am I just making a dumb association?
Somebody in life has had to have had a peanut butter and jellyfish sandwich at some time or another. Now, I know SpongeBob had jellyfish jelly.
Yeah.
But an actual peanut butter and jellyfish sandwich, right?
Why is there no peanut butter fish?
Name alone.
Yeah.
Maybe there is. There's a lot of aquatic life out there that we've not heard of.
That's right.
Good Lord, man. There was a last week, and I didn't bring it up. There was a picture of a fish in Thailand, I think it was somewhere, and the fish buries itself with its head facing straight up.
It made it all over the internet.
It did.
Yeah.
And it is, Casey, you're right.
Yeah.
The monsters live in the ocean.
Yes.
Without question, especially the deep stuff that doesn't make its way up to the top very often. Now, most times they're fairly small, but if you take a close-up look at some of the anglerfish and stuff like that, it is the stuff
of nightmares. Of nightmares. When you go into the Marianas Trench, you go into these deep areas of the world. There was a picture that's making rounds on the internet as well, Preston, which I believe was an anglerfish. People were saying, what is this fish? Of course, I gave a joke answer, but it had that angler that
little bait thing that hangs out in front of its front of its face that's to lure other fish in, and they're terrifying.
Brutal.
They have these huge, big, long teeth.
They never pay their rent.
They live rent free, for Christ's sake.
They got the jellyfish in their ears. That's what's going on.
Yes, that's
what
what
are
it
you
is.
paying for that?
But
Squatter's right.
This fish that buries itself and its face looks straight up. Straight up. Kathy, you should see this.
Is it a very big
No,
fish?
It's fairly small, but if you take a close-up shot of it, it will scare the hell out of you.
Okay.
Have you seen the one that, again, if you're talking about, this is a nightmarish, but the ocean yields so many odd types of creatures, and there's this one fish that has a sort of a very human-type face. It's watching a diver canoinker with a rock or something, and the thing keeps looking down at it, and he keeps pushing it away. It's like, what are you doing over there?
What you doing by the rock? Let's see. Hang on. We have Duncan, who has taken a bite out of a jellyfish before.
All right.
So we got to go to him. Hi, Duncan. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, bud. Says here you're a surfer.
Yeah. Usually surf like central northern Jersey. And one of the years we just had a lot of jellyfish in the lineup, and we were wearing wetsuits, so we didn't get stung or anything. But they were the ones that are the size of like a Nerf ball.
Yes.
And just floated up. I was like, I wonder what it tastes like. And it tastes exactly like fish-flavored jelly.
Fish-flavored jelly.
Ew.
God almighty.
By the way, Duncan, don't do that, man. Like
I know.
There was this story of it. You remember this kid out of Australia that ate a slug?
Yes.
And it caused severe brain damage to him. He was on death's. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But then again, you guys are surfing. Yeah, I'll take a bite of that.
Back off, war child. That's my jellyfish.
Seriously. Hey, do you guys as surfers, do you reference Point Break from time to time?
Oh, yeah. My buddy had one of the president's masks down at the beach the other weekend.
I'm sorry.
They were the plastic masks.
He was wearing one of the president's
that's
masks.
great. That's awesome,
brilliant.
yeah.
I love it. All right. Thanks, Duncan. Appreciate it. Fish-flavored jelly.
I just saw this video of this guy who was, it's kind of a cool thing that they're doing now, Steve, where it's like a skimboard, and they take the skimboard and they ride it into the waves. And then...
those are cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this guy is doing this, and as you see him approaching the surf, you see an orca whale coming straight in.
Wow.
And what this guy doesn't know is that in the waves is a seal. And just as he is about to jump onto this board, this orca stops and chomps on this seal. I mean, he was maybe 2 to 3 feet, but also 2 to 3 feet from the
shore.
The shore. Thank you. Oh my God.
Let me tell you something.
Words, man.
The outside the water area.
Yeah.
The air. He was. What's that word? What's that word for the non-water area?
The outside water area. Yeah, they will come up all the way up onto the beach. Orcas will when they're going after a seal. It's crazy.
I have done the swimming with the dolphins. So you get into the water and it's flipper. Hey, wonderful, salty flipper. Everyone loves flipper. When you're in the water next to a dolphin, holy mother of Christ.
Yeah.
And then
Powerful.
imagine an orca.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so powerful, Preston.
Yep. Nuts. All right. Well, anyhow, the bottom line is don't pee on someone.
Eat jellyfish.
Eat jellyfish. No, if they have been stung by a jellyfish, the Mayo Clinic recommends plucking tentacles with a fine tweezer and keeping the affected skin immersed in a hot shower after you've flushed it with salt water. Then you go to a hot shower for 20 to 45 minutes.
Wow.
And it cautioned against scraping out stingers. Apply alcohol using water pressure bandages. Oh, and it's cautioning out you don't want to scrape stingers or apply alcohol or use pressure bandages or rubbing the area with a towel.
Just do something.
Do something, but don't pee.
Does it say anything about a beer in the shower?
No, but how can you not have one of those?
Probably can't hurt.
Yeah, that's
That'll
brilliant.
keep you in the shower for 40 minutes.
I haven't done that yet. I got to make sure. No.
Well, I thought
Bring
that
a
was
keg in.
That's how you started your summer down the beach.
Normally, but I haven't.
Wait
done
a
that
second. Do you have an outdoor shower at the
No, we don't.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because if you were to do that, I think if you were to install like a keg system.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, a tap in the
Right.
shower. That's a brilliant idea.
Right?
You need an outdoor shower at home. You're getting your decory done. You got a little 4 by 6 foot.
How about an
area that
outdoor
you-
shower here?
Here?
In the parking lot.
We should have a little little thing that goes outside of the building on the 4th floor. Where you can just step out and have
This
a little
is
outdoor
ours.
shower.
No one
Right.
use our shower.
All right, I want to take a break because we got some bizarre file stories to get to. We'll do that. Come back in a moment and have that offered up fresh, piping hot for you. Stay put. We'll be right back.
To have Ringo Starr kind of doing an interview saying, I could just listen to Paul play piano for an hour. and in the background, Paul's working out the opening chords for Let It Be. I mean, are you kidding me?
One of the greatest songs ever written coming to life right there. It's insane.
But what's really, really funny is kind of as iconic as they are, there's always going to be something really personal that you watch in a movie like that, and especially one that's documented 6 hours. My phone rang off the hook somewhere in the 3rd episode when they all started drinking J&B scotch. Now, J&V Scotch is certainly now not considered to be very highbrow on any level, and you'd have to find a pretty dirty bar to find a bottle of it anyway. I've been that was always kind of my drink of choice for a number of years, and literally the fact that they had all drank it together, kind of sitting on the floor working out, the long and winding road, somehow gave the beverage validity. My friends finally, after 20 years of drinking this swill, have forgiven me.
It's good enough for the Beatles.
Drank it. I love it. Yeah, I thought, if John Lennon could drink it, and apparently I make the same kind of disgusted face that John Lennon makes when he takes that first pull.
That's great.
We laughed about that.
If you're just tuning in, it's Kiefer Sutherland that we're speaking to. His album is called Bloor Street, and he's going to be performing at Ardmore Music Hall coming up on March 12th. Tickets go on sale, I believe, tomorrow, by the way. And I didn't even realize this is a bizarre coincidence, Kiefer. I right before you came on, I go to Casey. I go, oh, my God. I'm wearing my Castle Rock, Maine shirt.
There you are, yeah.
And you were Ace Merrill in Stand By Me, who lived in Castle Rock.
It's my favorite movie of
It's
all
Casey's
time.
favorite movie of all time. And I wanted to ask you about that character and other characters in your acting career, because that one was earlier on in your career, and he was so nasty and so mean. That as you've gone through and formed other characters, if you've ever gone, I think I'll throw a little Ace in there, or do you do that? Do you mix and match and borrow pieces from characters and maybe put them to construct others together?
No, they kind of, each character is inspired and informed by the script that you have in front of you and the experiences that you've had as a human being up until that point. The thing that I've always been amazed about with films like Stand By Me that I've been so lucky to be a part of was the seemingly how unaware I was that it was great, when I look back, I think, man, you have been lucky because, when I first read that script, it was just a job. I didn't think it was going to turn into this amazing thing that Rob Reiner and the other kids turned it into. So I've been very fortunate to be along for the ride on some of these things. And I also remember it's the first and only time that I went on an audition where I was hired in the room. And that was Rob Reiner. And that was like the most incredible feeling to go in for a meeting. And then by the time you're going back to your car in the parking lot, you've actually got the job.
Yeah. No callbacks, no we'll get in touch, none of that.
I think it almost made me cry when I was a kid. I mean, it was just because it was such an important thing to get the first couple jobs down here in the States. And I'll always be grateful for Rob for doing that.
And that movie has hit me in different ways over the years, because I first watched it as a child, and there were things about the movie that I didn't get or understand because I was a kid at the time. And you seeing these four kids going on this amazing journey, and then all of a sudden at the end, like, they're not friends anymore. Like they went to middle school, and then as an adult. Yeah. And I actually have a friend of mine. I was just talking to him about it on Sunday. I went to kindergarten with this guy, and we're still friends to this day, but we were lamenting over the fact that, like, there were people on our last day of 8th grade. That was the last time I ever saw them. And, these are aspects of these child's lives that Stephen King was well aware of as an adult. And so it's my favorite movie, and it has always been, will always be my favorite movie of all time.
Well, it's certainly one of my favorite to have made, because I was so young again. But all of a sudden, I'm in Eugene, Oregon. I've got my own hotel room. I'm being paid. I'm 17 years old. This has nothing to do with my parents. For all of those reasons, again, talking about the firsts that you do in your life. It was an incredibly, incredibly exciting time.
As you moved through your career, and I mean, it's an amazing career, on the screen, because you've played William Burroughs and Jack Bauer, which are, as author of The Naked Lunch and one of the great action guys of all time. And I know you have a very good work ethic, and the mindset early on was to just get the role. But as you were able to have some impact and weight and make the selections, what informed what you chose throughout your career?
Just whatever moves you. It's not more complicated than someone picking up a book and for whatever reason, this book moves them and makes them, inspires them more than the other book. So generally, if I'm reading a script and I can't put it down, it's going to be something I'm interested in doing. And having said that, I've made close to 100 films, so I've made mistakes. There are a couple films I'm sure that I read that I didn't understand. And when I see the movie, I'm like, how did you not get that?
Is that a liability? And you mentioned, you didn't realize what you had with Stand By Me. I would think it'd be hard for an actor who's doing the job to be in it, surrounded by all of this stuff that's going on, and to be very aware, completely aware of how something is turning out. Is that?
Yes, I mean, that's a very fair statement. I mean, and there's some people that are clearly must be better at it. Like, I think Tom Hanks must have some inner gene that's like, this is going to be a huge hit because he keeps making them. I wasn't given that gene, and having said that, so many things need to go right for a film or a play to work, or for a song or an album to work. And for instance, 24 was a perfect example. It was my first foray into television. And for those out there that don't know, you make a pilot, you make the first episode, and then if it gets picked up, you then go make the first season. But if it doesn't, you still get paid.
Right.
And when, I thought the likelihood of 24 getting picked up was pretty minimal. So I thought, I'll go do the pilot. It won't get picked up. I'll still get paid. No one will know. And, it was the luckiest gift I've ever had as an actor, and did it for a decade. So, wow. So I don't know if any of your kids want to get into film, probably the best bet is to not send me the script and ask me what I think.
Two real quick things, Kiefer. My mom drinks J&B, so you're not alone. You, my mom, and the Beatles. And you do play a great dick, because in A Few Good Men, you were really not likable at all. And you pulled it off successfully. I think you're a really likable person. I'm loving this conversation with you. But that movie, was it fun to be kind of a villain in that movie?
Well, it's those characters, and especially by design, like Ace Merrill and Lieutenant Kendrick in A Few Good Men, they're just designed to be that. There's no real depth to them. There's kind of a black and white character that this is who you're against.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they are so pointed as characters makes them very fun, because all your energy goes into that. There's no complex layering. He's just, as you said on your radio station, he's a dick. So lean into it.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So that's fun.
Yeah. It's got to be. All right, well, listen, Kiefer, we know you got to run. This has been so much fun to talk to you. We really appreciate it, and excited about the fact that you're coming into Philadelphia. Kiefer's show is going to be at the Ardmore Music Hall. It's on March 12th. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. at ardmoremusic.com. The album is called Bloor Street. Some great music. It's got a country vibe to it. If that's your thing, then you're definitely on board.
Yeah, it's very, very solid.
Yeah, so thanks so much, man.
Man, thank you guys so much. And Steve, I believe it's your happy birthday. So
no, it's Preston. It's Preston, but thank you.
Oh, is it Preston's birthday today?
Yeah. But I get one.
Man, I'm so sorry, but happy birthday.
Oh,
dude,
come on.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kiefer. Good luck with everything.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah. Wow. And there's so much more that we could have covered. Even we could have gone another hour.
Yeah,
just talking to him about all his movies, TV shows.
It's still an interesting thing though, because you have a guy who's the vast movie career, but he is passionate about the music, and he really is sinking a lot into it. And if you do give it a listen, I mean, you did mention a little bit of Springsteen-esque. There's even a bit I think of Warren Zevon, and there's and it's personal, and he does a good job relaying that through the music.
I meant to and wanted to ask him about. He performed at the company's Christmas party. We weren't at that, but it was for national sales and.
No, you didn't want to bring.
Yeah, were you in here when we were talking?
Well, no. So I wanted to ask about Matt. So Matt Capper was the
organizer.
He was the master of ceremonies, and he wore a bright. Red fitted.
I saw you in Stand By Me. That was sick. Was that dead body real?
Played eighth.
You played eighth. That was sick.
Oh my God!
Are there really a few good men, or is there just one good man? Sick. Were the boys really lost?
Wait, he was wearing a red outfit?
A red
suit?
blazer, like
Yeah,
almost like a Santa Claus, but it's fitted perfectly to or imperfectly to his body.
I had a tailor-made. So can show my V. Sick.
Your feet.
Casey, I was glad you got to bring up Stand By Me because I think now you've been able to ask Rob Reiner, Will Wheaton, Will Wheaton, Jerry O'Connell.
Yep.
Now Kiefer,
Probably Corey Feldman at some point because we've had him on. We had him in studio back in.
No, but you could have asked River Phoenix if he was still alive.
By the way,
covered everybody
on. I think it's Hulu. Hulu has a series. It's a Vice series, and they touch on there's a whole episode on River Phoenix, the Viper Room.
Heard about I heard it's really good.
It's really, really good.
I'll tell you the thing about Stand By Me, and there are other movies like that you watch it and you dread almost the end of Stand By Me and it's a wonderful thing and it's the way life works, but the sadness of what you had and
the
what
Sandlot, things like that.
It's the way things are.
Yeah,
And
it's what's important to you as a kid at that time. I mean,
and it means everything.
They're sitting around the fire, and he goes, "We talked about things that are important to kids at that time. What's your favorite flavor Pez? Or candy and stuff like that. And it's just a simpler time that's great to reminisce about, and that's done so lovingly well." In that movie. So it's cool. I'm glad he had noticed. I said, I'm wearing my Castle Rock shirt. He's like, I noticed. Very cool, man.
Yeah, awesome. Great guy. Great guest. I'd love to get him on again.
Our next guests are here to promote a movie of which the trailer is one that has made me laugh out loud. This morning, I kept watching this part over and over, absolutely cracking up. And we're going to ask these guys about it because I was just dying. And we welcome back a Philly boy to our studios. He's been here before. We love him. He's so great to this city. Kevin Hart is here, and Ice Cube is here. As well. Hey, guys.
What's your man?
How you feeling? Doing great, man. Thank you guys for coming in.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Kevin,
hey, that's my line, homie.
You didn't work this out ahead of time?
No, man. See the problem I had to deal with?
There you go. Something tells me this was a lot of fun to work on the movie Right Along.
Yo, it was a lot of fun to work with. As soon as we can get Kevin, into the set, what I'm saying, to work, he did a pretty good job, you know what I mean?
You have no problems.
Getting him out them strip clubs is murder, you know what I'm saying? Picking glitter out his face, it's just not cool.
Not a regular at the Purple Orchid, are you, man?
Purple Orchid.
Don't listen to this nonsense Cube is talking about. Dude, let me tell you something. Right now, we couldn't be more excited about a movie in our life, man. Me and Cube got the opportunity right now to have a film jump in the same conversations as these other buddy cop movies that have done so much. When you think buddy cop movies, you think
48 hours,
Rush Hours, 48 Hours.
I love them. There's a great dynamic, but the key with any movie like this to work is the chemistry, and it seems like you guys hit the ground running with it.
Instant chemistry, and that's kind of weird because with the other comedians that I've worked with over the years, we've had to build to a cool place, but it was instant with Kevin.
You in the plot conceit here is that you're an actual detective.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're a pain in the ass school cop. But you're going to marry your sister.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Mini Melts of America. Breaking ice cream news. You can get Mini Melts ice cream delivered right to your door on the Wawa app. And you're just a few clicks away from enjoying your favorite Mini Melts flavor. Download the Wawa app today. A 34-year-old woman was arrested Monday after she attacked a 14-year-old girl inside an IHOP in North Miami Beach. The incident was reported shortly after 10 p.m. at the International House of Pancakes. The victim told police that she and her family were dining inside the restaurant when they were approached by Precious Williams.
Precious Williams?
Who accused them of talking badly about her 4 children. The victim said that she and her family told Williams that they had not said anything bad about her children, but Williams refused to listen and lunged toward the teen, grabbing her hair and screaming at her. The teen then pulled Williams' hair in an effort to get her to stop attacking her, and the victim's family and Williams' husband eventually separated, and police said Williams claimed that one of her children, who ranged in age from 3 to 8, told her that someone at the victim's table called them an N-word. And Williams told police that she told her child to ignore it, but eventually confronted the teen and her family, attempting to find out what had been said. She claimed the teen suddenly pushed her, at which time she grabbed her by the hair, starting a fight. But police said the entire confrontation was captured on cell phone video and shows Williams standing over the teen as she was sitting down, screaming at her before attacking the victim, seemingly unprovoked. And another person was also struck in the head with a syrup bottle.
I'm just sad this had to happen in front of pancakes.
By an unknown person as the two groups were trying to separate the two. You can't do that at the International House
It's
of
international.
Pancakes.
It's like the United Nations.
Police said 2 employees of the restaurant claimed Williams was initially upset because she believed someone at the victim's table had called her children bad, and although neither employee heard any
Those kids are bad.
heard any comments being made about Williams' children, so she was arrested.
You got something to say, Pancake Eater?
Here is a terrible story, but it has a bizarre twist to it, hence put in the bizarre file.
All right.
A man already facing an attempted murder charge from an incident where 3 people were found dead and 1 seriously hurt has now been charged with 3 counts of murder. Luke Truesdale was charged with those murder counts. Online court documents say Truesdale's motives included expecting that a, quote, movie would be made about the killings.
So he was wanting to do something that would be memorialized in a movie.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
A criminal complaint says that Truesdale was on scene when deputies got there and admitted he hit the 4 victims with a metal pipe. The weapon believed to be used in the killings was found on the scene and had blood and hair on it. All 4 victims were found on scene with blood on their heads.
Is the technical charge a murder, death, kill?
Video surveillance showed Truesdale near the outbuilding where the victims were found. The court documents did not specify how he or if he knew the victims. He's being held on a $4 million bond. But that's what he told them. He did it because he wanted a movie to be made.
Dear
about
God.
it. That's insanity. A Florida woman was arrested after calling 911 on herself while trying to steal a car from a dealership so she could, quote, do it legally.
So she could do it. So the theft would be legal.
If she called the police. Yes.
If you give them a heads up, then it's legal.
Christy Turman called the Lee County Sheriff's Office because she wanted authorities to know. And
all right, then you go right ahead.
During the 911 call, she said, because I'm trying to steal a car that's not legally mine, so y'all better come make a report. I'm reporting this. Deputies arrived at the dealership a short time later where they found Turman exiting the driver's side of a stolen Toyota Corolla. The 37-year-old told deputies that she was being trained in a game of black ops to steal the car, but called authorities to make her carjacking legal.
So it's a black ops thing.
According to the sheriff's office, Turman was arrested and is facing some trespassing charges. All right, here's an idiot in Tennessee. In Nashville, Kathy, you've been in Nashville. Broadway, that's the main drag.
That's the main,
Okay, so a man was charged with driving under the influence after doing burnouts on Broadway. Okay, so why would this guy be doing burnouts? Officers arrested the driver of an Infiniti sedan who entered Broadway at a high rate of speed and performed a dangerous burnout maneuver. Due to heavy vehicular traffic, officers on foot were able to get this guy and pull him over.
Oh, my God, that's how crowded it was?
Yeah, police say Mark Gist, 51 years old, exited the car and was unsteady on his feet. He had slurred speech and glassy, watery eyes. Gist admitted to having consumed alcohol, and an open bottle of whiskey was found inside the vehicle. Gist performed poorly on field sobriety tests. His driver's license had also been revoked. So here's a guy with a revoked license. He's drunk. He's got an open container. There are cops standing around, and he starts firing off burnouts on the most crowded street in the town.
What are you saying?
Broadway is actually, like, if you drive down it, everyone's like, why are you here? Like, you avoid driving that,
I would imagine.
that strip.
Yeah, so this guy is a first-class idiot. He's charged with DUI, reckless driving, and driving on a revoked license as well. All right, and then we'll do one more story. That one's too gruesome. All right, we're going to end on a good one, folks.
Oh.
We'll end on a good one. A dog has reached hero status after it ran 4 miles to alert its owner's family of trouble when the man lost control of his truck and crashed into a stream.
That's pretty amazing.
Baker County Sheriff's Office received a call reporting Brandon Garrett missing. His family grew concerned when he didn't report to their camping site on Sunday as planned. One of his dogs showed up on the site instead, which helped alert a family of trouble and prompted them to search for him. They called authorities when they found Garrett's truck but could not reach due to difficult terrain. So officers arrived on the scene alongside search and rescue and an ambulance, and Sheriff Travis Ash spotted Garrett's truck and one of his dogs stuck in a ravine.
Yes, hi, I'm a dog. I've just come from an accident scene. It's about 4 miles. I'm on the interstate.
Garrett was heard screaming as first responders looked
It's okay.
for a point through which they could access the creek. Garrett was eventually located about 100 yards from his truck above the water. First aid was administered, and volunteers used chainsaws to clear a path to Garrett. That's how bad off he was.
Prove you're a dog.
The search and rescue, who needed to use its ropes team to access Garrett and get him to a rescue basket.
That's amazing.
They said he was connected to a highline rope system and pulled across the ravine. He was then given medical attention by professionals and was eventually transferred to a regional hospital by helicopter. Further investigation helped authorities determine that Garrett was traveling with his 4 dogs in total. One of the dogs traveled the nearly 4 miles to their camp, which alerted the rest of the party that something was wrong. Garrett crawled 100 yards from his vehicle, where he spent the night before his family found him, thanks to that dog. And the 3 other dogs were found alive at the scene of the crash. So
Guess the other 3 dogs couldn't help out.
Yeah, right? Just the one guy went out on his own? Come on, man. All right, and that's what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. Hey, a reminder that the Jersey Shore 64 second round voting is underway as we speak, and if you haven't done it yet, this is your chance to win $500.
That's great.
So fill it out, and we're going to have a king of the Jersey Shore 64, and Pierre Robert is going to broadcast live from whatever that might be. Could be a bar, a restaurant, could be, like we said, a bridge.
A bridge. It's all up for grabs.
Yeah, it could be a boat. I don't know. There's all kinds of things that are on there. Could be an elephant.
Yes.
Lucy might win it. You never know. WMMR.com to do it. The Jersey Shore 64 is powered by DHY Motorsports, so place those votes if you please. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Life, your one connection through to the real world.
Yes, you know, I've my character has taken care of my sister. You know, our parents are out the picture, and
right.
You know, so you know she's almost like a daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you're very protective,
overprotective, and I'm on a big case. You know, I'm trying to track down the biggest drug dealer in Atlanta. So the last thing I need is this fly in my ear by the name of Ben bugging me, trying to marry my sister. You know, and he's just not what I think he should be.
Yeah.
So you decided to take him on a ride along, which might kind of scare him out of this whole thing.
That's the plan, man.
Right.
Just scare the hell out of him.
Right.
You're Denzel to his Ethan Hawke.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Training day upside down.
Yeah, upside down on his ear.
You know what's funny though? There's an aspect to it. I'm a gamer, so you know, and you, Kevin, your character believes sort of in a way that because you're accomplished at video gaming, that would translate into the real world.
Yes, I solely believe that this is a real thing.
And I guarantee you, there are a lot of dudes, because you'll hear it when you're playing.
I can promise you there are.
There are a lot of dudes that think they could be dropped down in Fallujah and have no problem.
I can assure you that I've met these guys.
Yeah.
I've been doing a press junket, and one of the guys, this guy, the blacknerds.com guy. He has a website called blacknerds.com.
Right.
And he was serious. He was like, yeah, you know, I'm basically here for all black nerds. Give us a place to come, and we basically reside here, and we talk about things, you know. But as a gamer, he was talking about himself as a gamer. As a gamer, I'm a different type of person. This world that I'm in, you know, Kevin, I respect you for going there because it's me. You know, I'm above a platinum level. I'm actually on the game that I play. There's a diamond level, and there's only and we didn't know what the hell he was talking about. We're like, hey man, ask me about the movie, man. I don't know what you talking about, man.
The scene I was referring to when I introduced you guys is you're both interrogating this guy, and Cube, you're saying, you know, you better tell me what I need to know. And Kevin's character decides to act like he's the crazy cop and just starts wigging out on the guy and accidentally shoots him. Your reaction, Kevin, your face, just the immediate switch it went off to, oh my God, I just shot this guy. And then Cube, you pick it up. He just shot you. It's like
how serious we are. When you did that scene, were you the one who pulled the trigger on the gun, or did they surprise you with that bang? Or
no? Well, on the day, actually, we were trying to figure it out because first of all, they don't like me with guns on the set. I'm the last person they want with a gun, just because I just don't know how to handle them in real life. So Cube's like, Kev, hey, make sure somebody check Kev's gun, show me that it's blank. His thing is me shooting him by accident. So on the day, of course, it's empty, and we just sound affected.
Okay,
so it's just physical, and then after that, you sound affected at the end.
Damn, that was funny.
And the director is
Tim Story.
Tim Story, who did
Barbershop, Fantastic Four, and Think Like a Man.
Great movie. Now, Barbershop, I assume there was an improvisational atmosphere. Did you get to do a lot of improving on a movie like this?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I think when you get it right, you start off with a funny script that you're laughing at out loud when you're reading it, and you make sure that script is tight, but you do leave room for the actors to play. And Tim says, get it off the script once, and then y'all can have fun with it. And then, this dude, he don't stop. You know what I mean? He don't stop.
I improv because I can't read. So I basically, I have problems with my T's, H's, and R's. So I'd rather just wing it sometimes.
You got the Danny Glover thing going on.
If I don't recognize the word, I just go off book. That's my motto.
Kevin, I have to indicate how proud Philadelphia is of your success.
Thank you, man.
I mean, because you've been here in our studio before, and I remember last time you were here was back in 2009. You were playing the Tower Theater. That's a big room, and we were all impressed at how you were, continuing in your success on the way up. And then the next thing, you're selling out the Wells Fargo Center, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it's amazing.
It's unheard of, man. I try not to think about it because I don't want to go crazy.
Well, you know what? To me, you're doing it the right way because it seems like you keep you enjoy your work and you enjoy your personal life and you keep them both. Yeah. Because you don't, you're not. They don't get blurred. And I think guys who let that get blurred end up.
I like Steve. I like Steve, man. Steve gets me. I like Steve, man. I don't know where Steve got his research from, but he ain't been wrong yet. Steve is all right, man.
Y'all should do the sequel together.
Man, Steve chemistry is great, man.
While you guys are riding along too, maybe you're listening to the radio while driving through Philly.
I think so.
I'll take that. Or Steve is the gamer. I don't know, something, man. We go to Steve's house. He's got all types of weird gaming artifacts.
You and I are drinking milk together.
Something. I like it.
I did want to say, though, on behalf of the city and everything, your generosity has been fantastic.
Thank you, man.
A whole bunch of computers. There was that little incident where some of them were clipped.
Yeah, they stole them.
Stole computers. You're trying to do something good for the city.
Oh, son of a...
Now, Steve, I mean, Kevin, you didn't donate the computers and then steal them back.
No, listen.
That ain't cool.
I didn't steal them back.
That ain't cool.
Here's the thing. Let me tell you something about old Kevin Hart. See, here's the thing. You can't keep old Kevin Hart down. At the end of the day, I bleed Philadelphia. So at the end of the day, I step up for my city. And I understand where our public school system is, and I understand the problems that we're going through. So rather than being a talker, I took it upon myself to take my own money, $250,000 I did. I took it out of my account, and I bought the computers. I didn't want any help. I didn't go after sponsors. So being that somebody came in and stole them, all you do is motivate me to do more and to do it bigger. And at the end of the day, my job is to just give kids hope that are in the same position that I was in, that are coming up in the same community that I was in, to show them that, hey, look, you know what, guys care, people do come back. These guys don't make it out the city and just go on to do whatever. The fact that they still physically see me and they can still talk to me and reach me, that's all I need. I know that I'm reaching somebody and giving them that motivation. Cube, I'm such a good dude.
Yeah, you are a good dude. You are a good dude.
All right, well, listen, the movie is opening up on the 17th. And like I said, it looks hilarious. And as Steve said, we're looking at a franchise, I think. I mean,
it looks that way,
It looks great. It's called Ride Along. Make sure you go check it out. Thank you, Kevin Hart and Ice Cube. Good luck with everything.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man.
You bet. Let's hear it, man. Ice Cube. We got a couple of guests that are in our studio. Fresh from our Acme Lounge.
Yeah. Finally, we're getting to use it.
Yeah, exactly. They have arrived in our studio via the UK, and we actually hung out with them in London. They came by our live broadcast when the Eagles were playing, and we did a few days in London, and they are in town filming for their YouTube series, and they're great people. We love them. Give some love to Joel and Leah.
Thanks for having us.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah. We're good. We're even happier you've used that music. Yeah. Very royal.
Iconic. As soon as it came on, I was like, this is incredible.
Any American show, whenever, this has been for decades, whenever they go to London
Yes.
or England, there is a stock shot of Big Ben, and that's the music that plays to show the transition. It is almost guaranteed.
They'll show a car going across Tower Bridge, and yes,
and that's it.
The music
every
gets
time.
played.
Oh, I know where we are.
Mhm. Yeah.
And of course, you'll hear like the Paris. You get the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah.
All the stand. Oh, here's where we are.
Yeah, every time. So listen, you guys, when did you get to the States?
Tuesday.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
And flew into Philadelphia or New York, or where'd you go?
Yeah, Philadelphia. We got
Philadelphia.
detained. That was
Oh my
fun.
gosh, I told Casey about it. It was, we were terrified. U.S. border control. So scary.
So detained. What did they?
Well, detained might be a bit dramatic, but they took us aside. They took our passports away, took us into secondary questioning.
Oh.
They separated us. They went through all our luggage. They were asking us all these probing
Joel,
questions.
my palms are sweating as we read
I know,
it.
same.
Like, I get it. And we're so innocent. That's
And
the problem.
they don't smile at you, right? Like there's no like, don't worry, we're just gonna. It's like you think you're, something.
The thing to do,
Yeah.
and the way to deflect immediately, if you ever get in that situation, is say, we don't have any bombs.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
I've heard
and then
that.
they'll react. No, it is a weird thing, and I think a lot of people go through. I know I do. I'm always like, I know that I'm completely. There's nothing. It's clean, but
Yeah,
you're
but
like,
you're
you
nervous.
can't help it when they
Yeah.
start pointing their attention at you. You're going to start getting nervous.
Oh, yeah. I
And
was like, Joel, we need to get our story straight. He was like, what story? just tell the truth.
If you're not familiar with Joel and Leah, they have this YouTube series, and they do a lot of comparisons to American culture and British culture, and that's where they jumped on our radar because they'll do fun things like sampling food. I watched a video this morning of you, Joel, driving in the United States for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was in Orlando, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Listen, when we went to London, after spending a couple days, or in advance, I'm like, I'm wondering if I could be able to drive here or not. And after spending a couple days, actually 5 minutes, I'm like, no. Way would I be able to. And London is a major metropolitan area. So being able to drive in, maybe I could pull it off in the country, but in a city, forget it, man.
Really? You think you could do country roads? They are terrifying. They're
Are
so
they?
small and narrow, and you feel like everyone's going to hit you, and it's really scary.
Okay,
know
I'll
what
just
happens?
write off the whole country.
Anytime, so years ago we'd gone over when Guinness was giving away. They used to have a promotion where they give away pubs in Ireland. Like you'd get the pub, you'd get the whole business. And so we went over, and I don't think we even drove then, Preston. I think Marilyn's friend drove around.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always thinking of that story years ago when, remember, Matthew Broderick was over, and he was driving with, I think, Aaron. Who was
yeah,
from
Jennifer
Jennifer Grey.
Grey, yeah.
And they were on the wrong side of the road, and they collided with the family, and it was a horrible story.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, because it's such a you've been driving so long here.
Yeah. You've trained your
my
whole
fear
life.
is I would just lapse back into the wrong side.
You like driving on the right side of the road?
It was scary.
Yeah.
And I did start driving with one foot on each pedal because I drive a manual, so an automatic. And Leah was like, "Why is it so jerky?"
WMMR, it's not the end of the world. It's simply a Monday, dear friend, and you got this. Maybe some big stuff on the horizon, but we'll at least be your co-pilot at a portion of your day, so make sure you lean on us a little bit. We'll do what we can to lean right back. It's about 10:15. It's a Monday morning. Like I said, it's a beautiful day.
Beautiful.
Weather's just phenomenal. Today and tomorrow are pretty much just like we got over the weekend. Close to 80 degrees. Lots of sunshine.
Going to get warmer towards the end of the week, right?
Yeah, Wednesday, mid-80s, and then Thursday, Friday, low 90s. Lots of sun. So we will have that. That's hey, maybe you love 90-degree weather. I don't know. It starts to get a little bit toasty for me, but you can always enjoy it anyway.
The humidity, that's the issue.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's going to be bad.
Like zero humidity levels right now.
Humidity.
It's a no didity at all. No didity.
Yeah.
No didity. All right. We're going to ask today's lesson question. We're going to give away a pair of tickets to see Mark Neumann.
Great.
He's going to be performing. Let me see. He's fresh off his Netflix special, Soup to Nuts, and he'll be playing at the Miller Theater Friday night, which is pretty cool. So the question I will ask you is this. Kathy said this earlier. What does Casey like to call the surf near the beach? He couldn't think of the word, and Kathy said this is what he was trying to say. 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you're listening. What does Casey like to call the surf near the beach? 215-263-WMMR. We'll do the trash while you're calling in.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you by A.D. Moyer Lumber. Trusted expert since 1939. A.D. Moyer Lumber is your professional source for decks, windows, doors, kitchens, millwork, and more. You can visit them on the web at admoyer.com. What's going on this morning, Steve?
Well, former GMA3 host Amy Roback saying her relationship with TJ Holmes has allowed her to dial back the boss lady energy and explore womanhood. Roback says, simply put, she now does butt stuff.
Oh, okay.
Superstar boxer Ryan Garcia was arrested for felony vandalism at the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills. And because it was the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills, the felony vandalism involved placing a soup spoon next to a salad bowl.
Oh.
And finally, according to couples therapist Dr. Jen Mann, Kanye West is probably a cuck. Based on raunchy texts he sent a former employee, Dr. Mann notes a particular transcript in which Kanye writes, quote, "I am a complete cuck and can't get enough of men having sex with my woman. Cuck, cuck, cuck." And that's how it is. Wow. Seems like he's a cuck.
All right, let's see if you know the answer to this. What does Casey like to call the surf near the beach? 215-263-WMMR. We'll go to Andrew and let him take a shot. Hi, Andrew. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning to see you.
Good morning, it. All right, what does Casey like to call the surf near the beach?
The outside the water area.
Yes, the outside the water area. Andrew, hold on, bud. You got tickets to see comedian Mark Norman. He's great. Fresh off of his Netflix special, Soup to Nuts. And you can see Mark Norman live on stage at the Miller Theater. And that's this Friday night. Tickets are available at marknormancomedy.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Just got a couple of stories to run by you this morning for music news. Fans of The Offspring and attendees of MMRBQ 2024 can rejoice as they've just announced their 11th studio album. Supercharged is set to drop on October 11th. And there's a special meaning to the name, too. The band wrote alongside the announcement, "We wanted this record to have pure energy from the start to the finish, and that's why we called it Supercharged." That's not all, though. Along with the news, the band shared their new single from the album, "Make It All Right." We were talking to Chuck about that this morning.
And the word is that people are digging the song.
Yep, that it's what you want.
It's a toe tapper.
I didn't get to hear it at all. We have it if you guys want to.
Pop it on.
All right, here.
That's what you want.
You know, that's rolling down the windows music.
Yeah, taking your pants off.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of like a Blink or some 41 or.
Speaking of take your pants off and jacket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like upbeat 90s era punk pop.
Yeah. No,
you know?
I agree. I was thinking the same thing, Nick. It's got that kind of fun vibe to it. So. And needless to say, they're playing the MMRBQ September 21st, and maybe they'll whip that song out, and we'll see. But looking forward to it. And then only one more story, and we mentioned this earlier. Back in April, Madison Square Garden Entertainment had issued a lifetime ban on a Fish fan who ripped a bong inside the Sphere in Vegas during their show. They have changed their heart. They've had a change of heart, and they have lifted the ban. They had said in a statement, there was a breakdown in our process due to a change in personnel, which resulted in the letter being sent inadvertently. This customer is not banned from our properties. However, it is still against our policies, which are in accordance with local laws to smoke.
So don't you be doing them bans then there?
To smoke, bring glassware into our venues, and disrupt other fans' enjoyment of the event. So
it is a fire hazard, is it not? Obviously, that's the consideration. Anything you're lighting something in a venue?
Well, and also, I mean, the smoke is not good for the equipment.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. And there's, I mean, that's part of the reason, I would imagine. Yeah, they don't want actual fire, but they also don't want you vaping in there either. And that's not
true.
a fire hazard.
No.
So,
Yeah.
It's just policy, and it's out of, there are people that are in there that don't smoke weed.
That may have
And-
respiratory issues.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason that they make those rules. So, but anyhow, the dude's not banned. I don't think he's caught any, fines or anything like that. But if they catch him again, maybe they'll ban him. I don't know.
They'll kill him.
Yeah, or they could actually execute him on the spot.
Legally, you can.
But that's all I have in music news for you. It's kind of a short one this morning. By the way, a follow-up. I did have a question. I don't know the answer to this. Is Andy Summers, did he reschedule for tomorrow? Okay.
He'll be back on tomorrow. He just missed his call last week. So we were supposed to have on Friday, right?
Yeah.
And, excuse me, I got word after the show on Friday. So we're going to have him back on tomorrow.
right.
He's at the Sellersville later this week.
Very cool.
Oh, and we'll have a pair of tickets to give away. Sorry, Preston.
Nice.
We'll have a pair of tickets to give away to that show tomorrow during the interview with Andy.
Love it. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We'll find out what else we have going on for tomorrow, as well as the letter day for the Word of the Week prize. Stay with us.
On each pedal, I was like, yeah.
We
so
sound
I
like
forgot.
so intelligent on this show.
But it was easy in the end because your roads are wider. I
Yeah.
feel like, especially in Florida, people don't get angry. There's so much road rage in the UK, and like
gosh, yeah.
in
Is there?
Florida, they were just like, "Nah, you cut me up, it's fine."
It's really funny because Brits are quite polite. Well, we're kind of polite-ish, but then on
Not
the
in a car,
road, we
yeah.
have this alter ego where we feel like we can say anything behind the car.
And there
So-
probably
Yeah.
is road rage here, but just where we were in Florida,
yeah,
they
there's
were just.
definitely
No, there
road
is.
rage. Yeah.
But I'm surprised to hear that there's a lot in England. Everyone does seem. I mean, obviously, you always make these sweeping general. Everyone's so pleasant, but you're saying that that's out on the road behind the wheel. It's a
Yeah.
different story.
Totally different story.
Oh.
yeah.
But you know what? It's probably not scary to you guys because you're just like, "Oh, you idiot!"
Right.
Yeah.
So while you're in the area, how much time are you spending in Philadelphia and filming here?
So yeah, we have 6 days in total.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of short, but we're hoping to just do all the touristy stuff, and obviously
Okay.
we're going to try Philly cheesesteak as well. So we haven't
First
done that yet.
time.
First
Oh.
time, yeah. So
A
excited.
Philly cheesesteak, you got to try several of them.
Yeah,
Several.
all of them.
There's, it's you can't. I mean, they're all over the place. And so,
Oh, wow.
But we can point you guys in the right direction if you need some places to go to. Yeah.
When you travel, because when we came over to London, you sort of feel compelled to do the touristy
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But you don't necessarily get a taste of the city or the country when you do that. When you guys travel, do you bang out the touristy stuff and then dive a little deeper, or what's your approach?
It's really funny. Tell them about the love thing.
Well, yeah. So everyone was banging on about the love sculpture here, and like, you need to see it. And then we got there, and it was just like this
It was just
tiny little
tiny.
love.
Yeah,
sign.
right.
we looked at it and we went, no, surely not.
Surely not.
Surely
But we
not.
do try to hit all of the touristy stuff.
Wait, so you didn't like the love statue?
We just
I
went,
thought it'd
no,
be
we've not
huge."
come halfway across the world for that. No, come on.
Like,
Make
it's all
it make
very
sense.
cute. Like, it's nice. Love's great. We love
lovely.
love.
Oh, we
But
love love,
It's
yeah.
just a very small sculpture.
You're right. It's not.
It's unimpressive.
Yeah, it's not like an art masterpiece. As in, wow, how did they make
It's the
that,
word love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
like-
it's a nice positive message. It's,
Yeah. We thought, no wonder they detained us at the airport. They don't believe we're tourists. There's nothing to see.
Right. They're just bored. But it's like the Liberty Bell, which whenever somebody comes here, I never say go see the Liberty Bell. It's underwhelming. It's a crack bell. I get it, but there's a lot of stuff down there that And we did a thing years ago about people who have lived here all their lives and have not seen it. It's just So you will leave, I'm sure, seeing more than a lot of Philadelphians have seen in your 6 days here.
Okay. Do you guys do all the planning of what you want to do while you're here, or do you? Yeah, you do it.
So loose planning, don't we? And then most of it's just like make it up as we go along.
And
But
we
we
get-
will have a few.
And we get recommendations from
Yeah.
our viewers as well. We rely heavily on that because we want to make videos for them. So we're like, well, what do you want to see?
Yeah.
So most of the times it will be all the touristy stuff. And we would like to go off the beaten track, but we don't often have the time to do that.
Well, I think that's the charm is that you're doing the stuff that everyone says initially would say, I'd like to check that out. So these recon trips where you're going and you come here and obviously most of what you do is predicated on the differences and similarities. How many times a year, outside of a COVID scenario, would you make the trip to the States?
Yeah, we used to do quite a few, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then COVID just sort of meant that couldn't happen. So,
Maybe
what we're
3
aiming
trips a
for.
year?
At least
3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4. That's cool.
I feel like 6 days, you can get like everything done and then some in 6 days here.
Yeah.
Like, no doubt. I don't even know what you've done so far and what you have planned for today.
So, what have we done so far, Joel? You're the map.
far-
Joel's the map.
We-
I'm just the wandering follower.
We went to Reading Terminal Market for
Ah,
breakfast.
good cause.
Loved it.
That was nice.
Well,
and then
did you go to Nick's? Because there's a one of the shops in there has what has been labeled the greatest sandwich in the United States is
Wow.
at Reading Terminal Market.
Really? Did they just write that on the poster,
Yeah,
or did they actually?
They didn't write it. It was I can't remember which foodie or which but it was like
Yeah.
it wasn't a Philadelphian who said it. It was
Okay.
somebody who has toured the whole country and said this is
That
the
is the
greatest.
best sandwich.
You will bet. There's a lot of great food here. That's one thing. I mean, Philly, over the course of the time that we've been doing the show, has become a real foodie city.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great stuff to check out. And as Preston was right, you can't do one cheesesteak. You're going to have to do a
Okay.
couple.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
that's fine with
That's
us.
interesting. Yeah, I can see the title now of that video. We tried the best sandwich in America.
Yes,
That'd
yeah,
be
right.
quite good.
That'd be
Yeah.
good. We also talking about soft pretzels. Apparently that's a
Apparently
Philly
that's a
thing.
thing.
Someone
is.
said tomato pie. And then I
Yes.
told that to someone and they were like, "What is
Yes.
that?"
That's
Is
what we
that-
call
yeah,
it
what is
too.
that?
Tomato
Oh,
pie.
tomato.
Tomato pie.
Tomato pie. Yeah. So yes, it's kind of like pizza.
Okay.
But
Without the cheese.
Without the cheese,
Oh, and it's
and it's
cold.
usually
It's
served
cold.
cold.
Yeah. So it's
and
really
it has a
nothing like
sweetness to
pizza.
it too.
It's sweet.
It's
You're
sweet.
really
yeah.
selling it, guys.
Yeah, it's unique and it's good, but
Corporalese.
it's
you have to go
You
Corporalese.
need a Corporalese to get there.
Okay.
They're our favorite tomato pie for sure.
And the sweetness, I think, is what will surprise you. Is that it definitely has that taste to it. And it took a while for me to acclimate to it. You probably also have to do crab fries, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, chickens and Pete's.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Those
crab
are
fries.
good, too.
Why didn't you call us? We will give you a whole list.
There's
Listen,
so much food
I
choice,
put
yeah.
I put Leah in touch with Marissa. I said she is Philadelphia, like
Right.
and anything and everything that you need to know. And actually, because you're Greek as well.
Yeah.
One of her best friends owns a Greek restaurant, and it's what's it called? Hopa.
Oppa.
Yeah.
Oppa.
Oppa.
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
so she owns a nice restaurant in the city of Philadelphia. But like,
That's
if you
awesome.
really needed to consult anybody about anything you needed to see and do in the city, Marissa's your person.
Is there a Sixers game while they're here?
There's a Sixers, yeah, and LeBron James
Yeah.
is in town.
Is
LeBron
that,
James.
wow,
that's-
you're joking.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought I pretended to be a fangirl then, but that's quite impressive. Isn't
Yeah,
it? Is that at the Wells Fargo?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Well, I did do a little bit of research. So, yeah.
Where are you guys staying in the city, downtown?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we won't say where.
No,
No,
not
no,
exactly.
no, no.
Yeah.
Last time we said where we were in a
Oh my
hotel,
gosh.
we just got so much food sent to the hotel, so maybe we
Oh my
should
gosh.
say
Honestly,
it. We
they
got
kept
Cuban
calling
sandwiches,
us.
we got cheese, deliveries of just cheese, because we said on a live stream how we
We
wanted
said we were hungry.
cheese.
They
and
started
then-
sending food.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
So
was
the
amazing.
Bruno Brothers.
That's very cool that your viewers are that
Yeah.
nice and that look
Amazing.
out
Oh,
for
they
you.
are, yeah.
We
And-
got to send them to Italian Market. Take a look
Yes.
at that down that way because you mentioned cheese. De Bruno Bros is down there, right?
Yeah, De Bruno's actually all over the place.
Are you
Yeah.
guys
You know-
museum people?
We've got a cool one. We've
There's
got
one
a
called
super cool
The
one.
Muter Museum. It's
Yeah.
written like mutter, but it's pronounced Muter Museum, and it's oddities, and it's weird like medical
Medical.
anomalies and stuff like that. And it's a really cool building on top of it. So if you want to go see some weird, gross stuff,
Yeah.
Philly's your place.
They have
We
a,
like
like a
that.
gigantic colon.
Yeah,
I mean,
as a
literally,
matter of
I mean,
fact-
the
Okay, wow.
weird. They have the skeleton of what was the one time the tallest man in the world? Yes, right.
Yeah, I was at the Casey Musgraves concert last night at
Oh,
the
wow.
Wells
Yeah, I
at
saw
the Wells
she was
Fargo
on.
Center, and she has been in town for the last couple of days. She went to the Muter Museum.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
Mm.
If
Yeah.
it's good enough for Casey, it's good
Good
enough
enough
for
for
us.
us, yeah.
you know?
We were reading all about her in Nashville at that Country Music Museum, weren't we?
Yeah, we did.
So I say we don't like museums, we actually do.
Yeah, it depends. Just not modern art. I don't
I
like modern art
know.
museums.
All right, we will.
We'll steer you that way. Well, I see that our callers are getting on the line, and I think I want to take this out for a spin because One of the things that always surprises us here is when we'll be watching a show, a movie, something like that, and you get to know a character, even sometimes over a few seasons. And then we'll hear an interview with them, and it turns out this person who we thought was from America is a Brit. Okay. And they have mastered the accent. And in fact, Kate Winslet, a show called Mayor of Easttown, which took place in this area, had to master not only just the American accent, but specifically, she took it from where Casey is from, Delaware County. We call it Delco.
Yeah.
So it's got a very specific accent. And she said it was the most difficult accent she ever tried to master. And she nailed it. She nailed it spot on.
I mean, she's winning awards right and left for it. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So we wanted to do a game with you guys called Brit or Not a Brit.
Ooh, fun. Gosh, okay.
We have a series of callers
Okay.
that are going to speak. We've given them something to say.
Oh, gosh.
Some of them are British and some of them are American, but they're all going to be attempting a British accent.
Okay.
Or just
you
talking.
Have to determine whether they are legitimately British or not.
100% Joel's going to be really good at this.
Oh, yeah?
I'll
try. I did a degree in linguistics. So
Well, there you go. That's
I
good.
love accents, but I say that I probably, I'll be terrible.
Okay.
Well, the funny thing is that, as you know, because as you know, you're obviously spent a lot of time in the States. Obviously, there are different dialects throughout the United States. For England, for the size that it is, there are a tremendous amount of different dialects.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you have a particular accent? If someone would somebody be able to pick out what region you're from?
I think they would say generic sort of south of the UK accent for both of us. Leah's got a slight
Midlands
twang.
Yeah, I'd say I'm Midlands RP.
Yeah, so you're sort of in the middle of the
Yeah.
UK. So yeah, people could place us, but not so specifically. I think.
It's so funny when some of our American viewers are like, Leah, you sound like Adele. I'm like, I really,
Like
I really
Adele.
don't.
Hey, WMMR, Red Hot Chili Peppers, 10:33, and the Preston and Steve Show coming to a close for a Monday morning. And we just kind of settled in, just kind of eased on in from a beautiful weekend into a beautiful start for the work week. No guest on the program, but
We didn't want to be jarring.
good conversation.
Yeah.
Among good friends. That's what ended up
Couple of
happening.
cigars.
Yeah. But a reminder that we do have our blood drive. It is on Friday. We will be broadcasting live from the Convention Center at Oaks, Pennsylvania. Jackie Bam Bam, while we are on the air, will be checking in from his location, which will be at the Live Casino and Hotel in Philadelphia. When he is done, Pierre Robert takes over and starts broadcasting from Live Casino. And then later on that afternoon at Oaks, we have Brent Poor. So it's turned into yet another all-hands-on-deck event. Used to be just us, kind of like the Camp Out for Hunger.
Sure, and we love this
Now
because
everybody
again,
gets on.
we're saying it. We want to see if we can break the record.
Yep, we'd love to do that. And somewhere in there, someone is going to be our 20,000th donation.
Isn't that mind-boggling?
Yeah, so everybody gets a Preston and Steve t-shirt, the newest one that we have, and a pair of Preston and Steve sunglasses from Window Nation, and refreshments from our friends at Everfresh Juice and more. So sign up if you can. You need to follow the eligibility guidelines. You can find them online at WMMR.com. And it's brought to you by the American Red Cross. Speaking of Pierre Robert, as we just were, he is in. You survived the weekend. Congratulations.
I did.
Excellent.
Did you guys break the record last year or did you come close? Or
I don't remember last year. It wasn't a record breaker. No,
Okay.
definitely
It was
not.
damn good. We know that. And there was a couple of years prior to that when we did break the record.
Okay.
And we, been getting back on firm footing.
Right.
Post all the nonsense, and now we're back and up and running.
Yep.
Cool.
So I think we can do it.
All right. Well, now, would you want to break your previous record breaker? Would that mean, in other words, if you broke the record 2 or 3 years ago, so you hold the record, are you trying to break your own record?
Yes.
Okay,
Exactly.
got it.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm just trying to get the technical part down.
Do you want to know what
not
you're
easy for
responsible
me.
for? We're going to put a lot of weight on your shoulders for your broadcast as well.
Well, then
because we're
you're-
going to come over. You come over and
No, that
donate
would
during
be
that.
lovely.
Yeah.
Put weight on my shoulders, though. You're going to sink the ship. But we can try.
All right. Can we get a letter from
Yes.
you? All right, let's do that.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
S as in Savior.
All right, and we are going to give away a premier Father's Day gift package from Omaha Steaks, including 2 Butcher's Cut filet mignons, 2 Butcher's Cut top sirloins, 4 air-chilled boneless chicken breasts, 4 pure ground filet mignon burgers, 4 gourmet jumbo franks, and much, much more. You can visit omahasteaks.com today and shop Father's Day packages starting at just $89 when you use the promo code WMMR at checkout. So we'll give that away on Friday as we're doing the blood drive. What's happening for the program?
Big day. We've got a block of Blink 182, but we've got a gigantic block of The Who. Roger Daltrey, what a embarrassment of riches, as the saying goes, we have in terms of British rock stars in our town this week. Roger Daltrey is at the Keswick Theater tonight. The Rolling Stones are at Lincoln Financial Thing tomorrow. And you've got 2 of the greatest English voices of all time in 2 separate nights, 2 entirely different venues. But Daltrey tonight is going to do a singer-songwriter almost thing. He's going to do a storyteller's acoustic set, an electric set. And so that looks to be fascinating. Wow. And he's been in town. He's been doing little walking tours of Philly.
That's great.
Yeah. I saw a picture of him walking near the art museum.
Okay.
And I'm going. And so we're going to have a gentleman on who has been instrumental in one of the Who's cancer charities, who will tell us about he got to see them practice a little bit and tell us a little bit what the show is like for the Who thing tonight, the Roger Daltrey thing. And if all of that were not enough, we will announce of all the people who entered for Stones Pit Passes. At some point today, we will draw the winner and call them and award someone passes in the pit.
It's crazy.
For the Stones tomorrow night.
It's just an insane amount of activity.
Yeah, it's too much for one program, so I'm leaving.
All right, well, hang out with Pierre because it's good stuff. I would like to thank our sponsors, the Preston and Steve Show, brought to you today by Duncan. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan, also brought to you by Powhatan Tiki Boats in Ocean City, New Jersey. Book today at powhannatikiboat.com. And also brought to you by Horizon Services. Help is on the way. Tomorrow on our program, Ted Tuesday. That's when we normally do it. And then, yes, the make good on Andy Summers of the Police. He'll be joining us via Zoom, and Robert Irvine is checking in as well. So
he's playing with Andy.
We'll have plenty to talk about and share with you. That's it. We are done. Rage on, and have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.